have clinched the playoffs in back-to-back seasons for the first time since 05 and 06.
No hype, no filter. Just the truth about your teams, your city, and the people who care about it most.
The reality is the expectations are higher now for this club than they were in 2019 and 2020 when the Padres hadn't made the playoffs that many times.
He's been here. He knows this city. And now he's leading the conversation every single day. Live and local on 97.3 The Fan.
This is fun. We're doing this for fun. This is fun. Have fun. Enjoy the fun with us having fun.
Now, here's Braden Surprenant.
Well, it is not Braden Surprenant today. It is Matt Skraby, and I will be taking you through Braden's show today from 10 to 2. He'll be back tomorrow, so I am just filling in for the day. Got Frank Marchese here with me as well. And I'm just going to tell you what Frank and I were talking about before the show, just so that we can stall a little bit more until we have to talk about the Padres. But there are two different types of chairs in this room. And there's one with like armrests that Frank is sitting in, and I always sit in when I'm over there. And then there's one without armrests, which I'll put over here in the camera if you would like to see. Now, the one without armrests is very high. Like, I'm over the computer. And so I started screaming and yelling about where did all these chairs go? Why does everybody keep changing these chairs? And Frank said, what did the chair ever do to you, man? What did the chair ever do to you?
I said, can we stop like harping on the chair for what it does in its recreational time over the weekend? Like,
I don't want to.
If it wants to be a little high, then let it be a little high. It's a long weekend for the chairs.
Look, I'm going to get the other chair, and I'm going to show everybody how much higher this chair is. Look at this. I am like over the computer. I have to raise the microphone for it.
You look better in the camera, though, with it.
Do I?
Yeah, you do. You're sitting higher in the camera.
All right. In the break, I'm going to maybe do it better.
Yeah,
I guess here's what I'll do. I'll put the camera down. If you want to watch the show, you can just go to YouTube. Search Braden Surprenant Show, search 97.3 The Fan. You could also listen on the Odyssey app if you go to 97.3 The Fan or 97.3thefansd.com. Well, not the weekend I think we were all looking for. I was hoping to have a more fun show after a Padres series win over the Mets, but that's not what we're going to get right now. We're going to have to talk about the bad. And I think people know enough by now that I'm usually someone who tries to look at the bright side of sports and the Padres. But after this weekend, Frank, I cannot find much to be excited about. The one thing I'll say, Freddy Fermín was great this weekend. Freddy Fermín is leading the Padres offense in the last two games, Frank. Yeah. That series reminded me of the series against the Brewers, where if Gavin Sheets doesn't hit that home run, I believe in the top of the ninth inning or eighth, one of those two, when they were on the road, Gavin Sheets hits a home run to put them ahead. Yeah. If he doesn't do that, they lose and they get swept. Freddy Fermín doesn't hit that home run, they lose, they get swept. And for people who are going to sit here and say, oh, you're being too negative, I don't know how else to look at this right now. It is bad. It's bad. This team is struggling, and it's struggling so much in my notes. I wrote 7 G's in struggling. It's been that bad, and there is no sign of it coming back together. So for all you out there that are saying, this is the team I thought they were going to be, congratulations. You were right. I was wrong. A lot of us were wrong. I will say, as Ben and Woods pointed out earlier, there's a ton of time left. And I know that they mentioned Clay in their chat, which I think Clay is if he's the same chatter from Gwynn and Chris and the Skraby Show, Clay's very positive, says, hey, 2024, they were 500 after a certain mark, and they ended up having a great second half. I don't see that team in this team. And now, can this team become that team? It can, but there is no indication at all that this team's going to be coming back together. And again, we're looking at a team with Freddy Fermín being their main offensive weapon in the last couple days. Freddy Fermín, I think we can safely say, is probably better suited as a backup catcher in baseball. He is not the guy you are paying or having on this team to be your main offensive weapon. And it's just a struggle all the way around. You have good pitching, no hitting. No hitting, mediocre pitching. No hitting, bad pitching. Then you have great pitching and no hitting. What's the commonality in all of this? No hitting. The last time the Padres had any sort of winning streak was when they took the first two against the A's a couple weeks ago. In the 13 games since, the team has gone 2-11, and something that I find to be extremely depressing about the team right now. 9 of those 13 games, the Padres trailed first. And 4 of those 13 games, the Padres allowed the opponent to score in the first inning. So you're fighting an uphill battle before you even start the game, it seems like. And I don't know how you feel, Frank, but I almost expect the other team to score first now. And I know that's not a great way. And I'm just being emotional because of how the team has played lately. So I get it. They're not always going to give up a run first, but this has been a trend. 9 of the last 13 games, they have given up a run first. So you've already made an uphill battle for yourself before you've even really started the game. What are you seeing, Frank?
I mean, on the one side, I'll echo what Sam Levitt said yesterday during the postgame show. Freddy Fermín's turnaround, he was 0 for 29 going into Saturday night. 0 for his last 29, botches his first sac bunt attempt, and then
Thank you for bringing that up. We'll talk about that.
And then gets the second one down. Craig Stammen said post-game Saturday night that Fermín, after he got that second sac bunt down, came back at the dugout with a look of, finally, I did something right with the bat. Finally.
Yeah.
Then goes out, hits a 2-run home run, which I called, by the way. You can ask Mike Crum, our favorite guy, our favorite friend of the show who puts ketchup on his tacos.
Ugh.
You can ask him. I said, you see that landing over there in right field between the two city cruise lines, closer to the foul pole?
Yeah.
That's where Freddy Fermín's hitting this ball. Because I thought opposite field, that'd be more Mets. It would be more painful.
Okay.
Not 2 seconds later, he hits that home run in the 8th inning.
Very nice.
So I called that.
So you were the one.
Yeah, I was the one. And then goes out and goes 2 for 4 with a 2-run home run and RBI double yesterday. So something like that, something like getting that sacrifice bunt down could be enough to change the fortunes of this team. Just get something right. Get one thing to go in your favor. That is how quick it can turn. That's what Sam said yesterday. You are in trouble now. This offense is not producing at all. You had 15 hits in a 3-game series. You faced Christian Scott, who has not been good since his second outing in the major leagues 3 years ago. Nolan McLean is, well, no, he's had injuries.
It fits with the narrative.
He's had injuries, so like it's been pushed back. Nolan McLean, who is starting to look like just another pitcher after the great year that he had last year. People thought he was going to be the ace. People thought he was going to be the next DeGrom. After the way he pitched last year, he's looked like every other average pitcher since then. And then you had a bullpen day yesterday against Sean Manaea, who has proving outing after outing after outing that 2024 was a fluke. You had 15 hits against those guys. 15. Now your bullpen is starting to allow runs.
Mm-hmm.
And the injuries are piling up, not just in your players, but in the rotation as well. Griffin Canning, although he looked very impressive on Saturday night, has not done what you thought he would do.
Still looking for a win?
Lucas Giolito has been fine. He's been serviceable. Michael King has been serviceable. He's throwing a lot of pitches.
Is it serviceable on the side of inefficient.
Right. Yeah. And now you're seeing a regression or a returning to the mean of Randy Vasquez. He's looked progressively more like his normal self, what we've seen over the last couple of years in each of his last couple of outings. He's regressing back to what he was off of that great start that he had. So now it's no longer your rotation is getting you there and your bullpen is locking it down and you're just waiting for the bats to show up. Now everything is starting to come down. Everything is starting to fall apart, and the bats are showing less and less a sign of making any form of impact in any of these games. So yeah, we're usually the calm, level-headed. It's worse than it looks worse than it actually is. For me, at least, I'm starting to panic a little bit.
And let's just say that we should say that this is for right now.
Yeah, for right now. Yeah,
because Sam's right. And Sam's seen a ton of baseball. All of us have seen a ton of baseball. Something like a Freddy Fermín homer yesterday, well, you would have thought they would have got, off to a better start yesterday, but that can spark an offense. Hitting is contagious, just like not hitting is also contagious.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like, I'm trying to come up with an analogy on the fly because you said something, the rest of the team is faltering now because there's no hitting. So it's kind of like you hurt your leg and you just keep walking on your leg, Frank. You keep walking and now your left or your right knee starts to hurt along with your leg. And so now you start putting all the weight on the left leg and then the left leg starts to hurt.
Yeah, you're
so
overcompensating.
It's overcompensating. And we've been talking about the pressing thing here lately. I fully believe in pressing, and I fully believe that a team can press and a team can play worse because they're pressing. You just want to do something to get your team going, but they're also not doing great things like running the bases.
Yeah, and that's
Fernando getting caught yesterday. I have no idea what was going on there.
You need base runners in that spot. You were down 7-2. All you need in that spot are base runners. And Fernando, getting him from a 2-run home run doesn't do a lot of good when you're down by 5. It does a hell of a lot more than a solo home run does. So Fernando, you can tell, and we saw it starting last week, Fernando is trying to do the job of all 8 other guys because he's actually hitting. He is actually producing. Now he's trying to score 5 runs every time he gets on base. That's not, and I understand that Stammen said yesterday they preach aggression, but you also have to know when to be aggressive.
It's smart aggression.
Exactly. That's a spot where Fernando has to realize I am more valuable on base, not on third base.
Yeah. And when your team is losing like they have been, when they're 2-11 in their last 13, those mistakes become much, much, much bigger mistakes.
Mm-hmm.
Granted, we don't really know what would have happened with Fernando, but anything put in play allows him to maybe score. So you can't. Fernando's been making those mistakes lately. And how can I be mad at Fernando? He's actually starting to hit for average now. I mean, Freddy Fermín has more home runs than Fernando Tatis Jr. does. Like, that is completely insane to me that Freddy Fermín has more home runs than Fernando has. And I see Prolific on the chat, which Prolific is one of the most negative Padres fans out there.
No, he's been okay. He's also the guy in our chat that says 97 wins loading every time they get on a 3-game winning streak.
Well, okay, that's a lot of fans. It's an emotional game, but Prolific is saying that stop protecting the manager, hitting coach, fire sale. Eric Grupner is sleeping behind the wheel. Huh? Like, I don't get this argument. I don't get this argument. Now, if we're talking hitting coach, I've said it for weeks. I don't think that firing a hitting coach is going to do anything at this point in the season. And I still believe that firing a hitting coach today would not do anything different. The manager, Craig Stammen needs to find a way to motivate his team.
Yeah.
He needs to find a way to light a fire. And I talked about this in spring training. Is he going to be the guy when things are bad to motivate them and to maybe have those tough conversations? I mean, what do you say to Manny Machado? You have to say something like, what's going on, Manny? Are you hurt? Like, let us know, because you're hitting like
169.
169. We're like 60 games into the season.
64 games into the season. There's 98 of these left. So, Jose Orozco in the chat, I've seen you. Two things can be true at the same time. There can be trouble, and there can also be a lot of time left, which there is. There's more than half the season left. But I will say this, as a quote-unquote opposing fan for the weekend, I can tell you a couple of my observations. That bullpen is scary. When you're in the lead, that bullpen means nothing.
Who are we talking about?
When the Padres bullpen is scary.
Yes. Okay, that's what I thought. Okay.
When your team is in the lead as an opposing fan, that bullpen means nothing.
It means nothing.
It doesn't matter.
You know who you're getting instead? I'm sorry to interrupt you. You know who you're getting instead? You're getting Wandy Peralta.
Not even that. On Saturday night, Jason Adam was warming up in the 8th inning. Mets were up 2-1. I'm like, okay, cool. Jason Adams warming up. Fermín hits the home run, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh God, Jason Adams up. It changes like that. That is the fear that your bullpen has on opposing fans. I will also say this as a quote unquote opposing fan. Forget about the numbers. Fernando's hitting 270. Jackson's hitting just over 200. Manny's hitting $170 going into the series. Those guys still scare you when they come up.
Of course.
Because you know what they're capable of. You know what they can do. And everyone hates their team more than they hate the opposing team. So you expect the worst. Those guys are still very, very scary coming up. And if that's the case, you're still somewhat in a good spot. Their numbers aren't great for sure. But every time Manny came up, I was tapping my toe a little bit. I was nervous for sure.
Of course. Manny Machado showed it against Zach Wheeler last week on Thursday. He watched like 8 straight. He saw 8 straight fastballs and then hit the 9th one out of the park.
Mm-hmm.
And that's Manny Machado. And he's able to turn it around at any point. Now,
what did I just say?
What good is an amazing bullpen if we can't score runs? Exactly.
I said that bullpen meant absolutely nothing to me when the Mets were up 2-1 in the 8th inning on Saturday night. Jason Adam warming up meant nothing. But the second they got the lead, it was like, oh God, here comes Jason Adam, and then Mason Miller's next, and it's over.
All right. We need to head to break. But the chat is already a little wild today. I'm Matt Skraby. That's Frank Marchese filling in for Braden Surprenant. He's going to be back tomorrow. When we get back, what does this losing streak do in regards to Mason Miller? We'll talk about it next. just kind of mimics how I feel. Just sad. If I still was drinking, Frank, last night after the game, I would have.
Don't say that.
No. If I still was drinking, I would have gone out to my porch that I don't have, and I would have sat there longingly.
Sat in my rocking chair that I don't have.
Sat there and had Lucky play the banjo while I was out there, and
A banjo he doesn't have.
he doesn't have, and I would just longingly drink a beer and look out into the street or
Look out into the field that's not in front of my house.
Yeah, that's not in front of my house, and just kind of watch the sun go down and contemplate life, because that's how I feel about watching the Padres sometimes. It's not great. Chat is not great either.
Nope.
I understand why people are losing their mind. By the way, Frank and I are broadcasting live for the Bill House Studios, where we know how. Maybe we need to put the Bill House like clubhouse or something where they know how. Just trying, Frank. We're also going to give out a Xander Bogaerts bobblehead a little bit.
No, we're giving away tickets to.
Tickets to the bobblehead.
Tickets to the bobblehead game, which is tomorrow night, I believe.
All right, I misunderstood that. Yes, it is tomorrow night. So we'll have some tickets to the game a little bit later. I went to break talking about Mason Miller because that's the new huge. Not rumor, because there's no like real truth to anything, but that's the new talking point is Padres need to trade Mason Miller. Windows closed, rebuild now. Unless you're giving me a guy who is major league ready right now and can hit right now, trading Mason Miller does nothing for me.
With a lot of control as well.
With a lot of control. And I think that's probably AJ Preller's it's probably his best selling point on Mason Miller, because he's not going to be able to be a free agent until like 2030. So he's under arbitration for the next few years. They have a controlled price on Mason Miller the next few years. You got a guy who is probably the best closer in the game right now. I'm a little concerned that his lack of pitching, because they haven't had any situations for him to pitch in, is kind of messing him up a little bit. But I cannot trade Mason Miller for prospects. Can't do it. This is not the window. If you're going to trade for prospects now, you might as well just give up on this iteration of this team, because yes, you could find another closer, Adrian Morejon. He's not as locked down as Mason Miller. Jason Adam, he's not as locked down as Mason Miller. And now if Mason Miller was going to be a free agent next year, I'm going to change my tune on this. But he's not a free agent next year. He's going to be under control through 2029. I don't see why you trade him unless you're getting a deal that is just so good you cannot turn it down. And I heard something last week. That was because people argue, well, how is he going to be a closer and get saves if he can't ever close and get saves? Well, Trevor Hoffman was on some pretty terrible Padres teams over the years. And I'm pretty sure that he had a ton of saves. So the saves are going to be there. The Padres are going to win at least 70 games, knock on wood. So he's going to have opportunities for his saves. But I don't think this team is just going to win 70 games. I think this is a very, 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 very bad stretch. And I am concerned that this stretch is how this team is. But until the All-Star break, I got to give them a little bit more time. Got to. And now I'm seeing are we going to be sellers or buyers? I'm almost thinking this team's going to be buyers. They know right now that this is their best chance. And so they have to take advantage of it, and they're going to buy. They're not going to sell unless they're dramatically under 500 by that point. What do you think, Frank?
I'm not reading that name in chat, but someone in chat said, when are these guys going to realize that the hitting coach is the problem? Not reading that name.
Oh.
In 2021, when the Padres weren't necessarily hitting all that well, was it Damian Easley's fault or was it the players' fault? No, it was Damian Easley's fault. You've had mostly the same players 2022, Mike Bradar was your hitting coach. Mostly the same players. Was it his fault or was it the players' fault? No, it was Bradar's fault. Last year, especially last year, whose fault was it? A lot of the same players. Whose fault was it? It's Victor Rodriguez's fault.
Well, this doesn't fit your argument because now he's in Houston and they can't hit either.
Now you have they're top. They were top 10 in hitting.
I know. Yordan Alvarez is hitting over 300.
Now, again, mostly all the same players. Now, whose fault is it? Steven Souza Jr.'s fault. With mostly the same players through that entire tenure, through that 6-year span, mostly the same players, 4 different hitting coaches. At what point does it become the player's problem? At what point does it become the player's fault that they're just not hitting?
It's been, in my mind, the player's fault.
Thank you.
They're the ones who are up there. And what does coaching do? I've really looked into this. I've asked people. I've read different hitting coaches' stories across baseball. The hitting coach is not there to swing the bat for you. I didn't know. The hitting coach, I was going to say I didn't know that was a thing, but obviously I did know that was a thing. The hitting coach is there for approach, for it to help you break down mechanics, to help you get a good game plan, to help put you in the right spot. Now, every time a player is asked about the hitting coach in the Padres clubhouse, obviously they're going to defend him. They feel like they have the right stuff. And you know what they say? It's not his fault we're not hitting. So it's amazing to me how we blame everyone else, or some people blame everyone else but the hitter, the guy who's actually swinging the bat. Steven Souza Jr. could be like, hey, this guy throws fastball high and away every single time, every first pitch, and they'll still swing at it.
Yeah.
So how is that a hitting coach thing? If you want to just ceremoniously fire someone, now I can understand this. If you want to prove, hey, this is a serious situation for our team, and we need to make things happen, and we're not messing around, Steven Souza, you got to go. I can kind of understand that. Do I think it's going to help? No.
No, it's not going to change a thing. It is not going to change a thing. And everyone, I keep seeing it all the time. I saw it in the chat earlier today. Oh, get Albert Pujols as the hitting coach. The players respect him. Again, I'll use the same analogy I used on Friday for those of you who weren't listening on Friday. Skraby, you get a job offer, or you apply for a job offer as a radio show host anywhere, let's just say in Chicago for the hell of it.
Great.
St. Louis, sorry.
Just say like San Francisco.
San Francisco, okay. You get a job offer.
Grew up listening there.
You get an offer to be a show host in San Francisco.
Ooh.
You apply for the job, interview, doesn't work out. Unfortunately, you don't get the show.
Well, that's unfortunate.
3 months later, you get a call from that same radio station and say, hey, I know it didn't work out, you getting a job for the show, to be the host of the show. Our producer for that show really isn't working out. So would you mind producing for that show? What's your response to that?
Let me make sure the camera can't see me, but I just gave Frank a one-finger salute.
Yeah. So why would Albert Pujols, who failed to become the manager here, why would he come back here and take a lesser job? Why would he do that? Makes no sense.
It makes no sense. Number one. Number two, Albert Pujols is not the answer either. And I can't necessarily say that.
But he's Latin. The players respect him more.
That might be something. I can't deny that because I'm not there. I'm not a baseball player. There's one comment here on the chat from Commendatori.
How do you know that? D1115. How do you know
say the comment?
How do you know that the hitting will immediately change for the better?
You don't.
If Souza gets fired.
But that's okay because that's their opinion. My opinion is that if he gets fired, nothing's going to change. Their opinion is that if he gets fired, everything's going to change. Commendatory said Philly's early manager change seems to have helped their club. Glad you brought that up because I was going to bring this up. The Phillies manager change was a completely different situation. They had already had a guy in place who, had questions about him going back to the season before. The offseason, there were questions. Things weren't working out, so they made the change. That's a completely different situation.
And what happened? They started winning because they started to play lighter opponents in their schedule. They started to play the Marlins right after that. They started to play the Pirates, who aren't great. They started to play all of these weaker teams. Arizona, when they were still awful. San Francisco, they played. They started winning games that they should have won anyway. So was it the manager change? Was it the Phillies getting Don Mattingly as their manager? Or was it the fact that the schedule got lighter?
Probably,
which one was it?
Maybe 75% schedule, 25%, 85% schedule, 15% manager. There's also, we got to go to break, but someone posted, I can't remember. There's a lot of comments coming in right now.
Well, there are.
Someone saying basically, why is this fan base not angrier? I feel like this fan base is pretty angry right now.
Yeah, no, they're trust us. They're mad.
I've done the best stiff arm with both arms I can until today, but watching them lose to the Mets, a series to the Mets, when they really should have lost, they should have been swept. Like, I'm not feeling great about it. I do know it's baseball. I do know there's a long season ahead, but at this moment, I can't even see that right now. So I'm going to go through some of the comments in the break. When we get back, Ramon Laureano, he is going to be, I think this news probably came out after you guys got done with your show on Friday.
Oh, about Laureano.
Yeah.
Yes.
So the midday folks haven't had a chance to hear about it. We'll talk about Ramon Laureano. And we'll talk about what needs to happen for them to fix this next on the Braden Surprenant Show, 97.3 The Fan. All right, back here on 97.3 The Fan, the Braden Surprenant Show. I'm Matt Skraby. That's Frank Marchese. Braden is going to be back tomorrow. I believe he's doing some sort of fun outing. I can't. Oh, it's golf. It's golf.
Yeah, he's doing Cathedral's
You okay?
alumni golf. No, it's just
You
a
okay?
comment. It's just a comment I just
You're
saw.
so
It's
sad.
fantastic.
What happened?
No, the comment I just saw. The last real manager the Padres had was Bob Melvin.
we
The
as
person
fans,
you couldn't wait to jettison.
exactly. As fans, we move the goalposts fast and furious because everybody hated Bob Melvin. Everybody hated who was after Bob Melvin? Mike Schill. Everybody didn't like Mike Schill. Now everybody doesn't like Craig Stammen. I'm going to say something crazy. It's almost like being a manager of a Major League Baseball team is a lose-lose situation unless you win the World Series.
Friars Influencer 619. I know who you are. I saw you change your name. I want trades. Put actual trades in the chat, please. You're telling me the fire sale begins today. Start trading people.
Oh, first off, let's talk fire sale. They're not going to move Manny with his contract. They're not going to move Xander Bogaerts with his contract. Jake Cronenworth hasn't played and probably doesn't seem like he's playing the rest of the season. So how are you going to move that contract? Now, I don't want me to list those thinking like, oh man, this team messed up big time. They messed up by signing all these guys. Oh, Fernando, he's terrible. Why did they sign him? Like, this is how you build a team to be competitive for a long run. It's not often that teams go on these long competitive runs with guys that they find in the minor leagues. You are going to have to throw money around in baseball if you want good players. That's what's going to happen. I saw some people complaining about the Manny extension after 5 years of the first one. No one was complaining about the Manny contract when it got done, the original contract.
I hope you guys enjoy how well he's playing this year because he gets a raise next year too.
He
gets a raise after this year.
It's something I have talked about, Frank, and it's a lot too. It's like $13 million raise.
I don't think it's that.
Is it not that much? I know that Fernando gets a big raise as well. So things are going to change in the payroll department there. Now, the new ownership coming in.
Yeah, no, Manny only gets about another $4 million.
Okay, maybe it's Fernando that gets this massive raise.
Oh.
What?
Oh no, yeah, you're right. I was looking at the luxury tax count. Yeah, no, he's going from 25 to 39. Yeah, that's $14 million.
Yeah, $39 million. I don't know. I don't think they do that in baseball where they like renegotiate and they say, hey, maybe they go to Manny and say, can you please defer some of this?
Yeah, brother, can you take a little less here, please?
That's hard to swallow. I gotta say.
It's getting a $14 million raise for hitting $169,
especially for what we're seeing right now. That is a depressing number. Let's see how the year ends before we go off that deep end, because I honestly don't know if I can handle that at this moment in time. We've got so much as Padres fans right now that we need to just take it as it comes, one day at a time. I heard Wood saying, just win today. That's what they got to do. I also heard Wood saying, which I thought was really funny, and it got me to chuckle on the drive down, the Reds are waking up after a 4-game losing streak going, oh yeah, we're playing the Padres today, kind of thing. Andrew Abbott on the mound. He always is great against the Padres. We still do have a game tonight, everyone. So we'll get you set for that as we go along. Death by Palm Tree wants to know, Skraby, do you think dad bods are in this year? Dad
bods are always in.
Yeah, I've heard dad bods are in for a while. I gotta say, I ate way too much over the weekend. I feel like I am 4,000 pounds because of the California burrito that I ate. I'm 41 years old now, realizing, Frank, cannot eat like I used to. So
no,
I'm going to have to change things again about my diet, but that California amazing. It was so good. I haven't had one in a really, really, really long time. Okay. All right. We'll get back into it. I'll go back to the comments a little bit later. There was a comment that I thought was kind of funny, and it was to all the people who are blaming the hitting coach. It's similar to the people whose kids get in trouble all the time, and you blame the teacher for it. You don't blame your own kid. I feel like that's very similar. There. For whoever said people are not angry enough, there are some angry people. All right. Ramon Laureano is likely going to miss the rest of the year after undergoing surgery to repair a torn labrum in his right hip, Craig Stammen told everyone Friday, which was a massive shock to us on Gwynn and Chris when we found that out, because we were expecting Ramon Laureano to come back in the next couple weeks or something like that. But here's what I learned over the weekend that I don't know is the greatest thing in the world, but Stammen said that Laureano did not inform the Padres that his hip was bothering him until last weekend. The outfielder subsequently saw the same specialist he visited in 2021. And so basically he's been dealing with this for 5 seasons now. He got some sort of shot in his hip a few years ago to try to get through it without having to do surgery, but he needed the surgery. This is a big deal because I wish he would have said something to the Padres. There's no contingency plan for someone to miss the rest of the year. Now, you always have injuries. This seems like a controlled. This seems like an injury you can plan around. Like, hey, guys, my hip is really hurting in spring training. I'm going to give it a go. Let's see how it goes. And then if it doesn't go great, then you already kind of had a contingency plan. Here's my main point in this segment. The Padres have to make a trade now. Padres have to make a trade for a bat now. And the bat the pitching now is secondary, because they will not win many games if they just continue to put Jace Bowen and Bryce Johnson in the outfield. They're not. It's not an option for me. Like, they just don't have the guys in the minor league system that are ready to be a player that's going to at least contribute half of what Ramon Laureano was to contribute. I just, if the Padres are serious about trying to salvage this season, which I know that they are, I have to assume that a trade is coming, because there's no one on this roster right now that is able to step in and to carry the load like Ramon Laureano did. And this is a big deal to me. This is a huge deal to me, mainly because it's something that could have been avoided. I'm not a fan of keeping injuries secret, but at the same time, Laureano knows his body. Taking that out of it, though, the Padres have to make a move. They have to be reactive to this, Frank.
Yeah, and now you've also got it piled on with Miguel Andujar, another potential outfield option, now hurt as well with his hamstring yesterday. This makes more sense as to why Jace Bowen came up, because if it was just going to be about a week or so, you could bring up Samad Taylor. He's a quadruple A kind of player.
Yeah.
He's played at both levels. Keeps going back and forth between both levels. Too good for AAA, not good enough to stick in the majors. And he showed he could play yesterday. He laid some leather out yesterday. You could have brought him up instead of Jace Bowen when Laureano originally got hurt. To bring up Jace Bowen, you knew that he was going to get some playing time because he's a prospect, 25 years old. You had to select his contract the same way you did with Samad Taylor. This kind of makes more sense as to why Jace Bowen was the first one to come up, is because you knew you needed a longer term replacement. But Jace Bowen, over the course of his first couple of games, he's 1 for 12 so far this season, and just his struck out. What are his strikeout numbers here?
He's probably got at least
he struck
6.
out 6.
Yeah,
he has struck out 6,
which
times.
Was
known.
Chris and Tony and I have said it when he got brought up. Like, he hits for power, which we haven't seen yet, but he also strikes out almost half the time.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So that's the downfall you're going to get with Jace Bowen. But Jace Bowen is not. I mean, Jace Bowen was in other organizations, and I'm not trying to rain on Jace Bowen's parade, but deep down, he probably knows too. Hey, I need to pick this up, or else I'm not going to be on this team much longer, because this team can't hit, and I'm not hitting too. So I need to figure something out. But Jace Bowen, Bryce Johnson, and I know he doesn't play outfield, but Sung Moon Song. I know Sung Moon Song is going to be a work in progress for everyone, but you cannot go the rest of the season with the outfield looking the way it is. I also just saw a comment. AJ pays players $100 million after one good season. I believe that was a Jackson Merrill comment, because that would be the only comment that makes sense. Yeah, Jackson Merrill's not great right now. Jackson Merrill has been striking out a lot. Jackson Merrill has lately shown a little bit of life at the plate. He's hit a couple home runs. He's got on base, but he's not been good. Manny Machado, I saw in the chat. Hey, Manny Machado, why are people more mad at him? I don't. Are you listening? Maybe you just tuned in, but I'm literally saying that this is the team goes the way Manny goes. What is Manny doing right now? Nothing.
What did you just say? What comment did you just say?
I don't know.
Why are people? Did you say why are people so soft on Manny?
Why are people so soft on Manny?
That was a joke comment.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't know these things, and I'm going to address them.
No, you're fine. You're fine. That's I comment. I'm like, you almost got me there. Because I was about to go on it. I was about to go off on it too.
JGA says, and now they want to talk about trading the closer we gave up our number one prospect for. Lols. Hey, I am not talking about trading that closer, Mason Miller. I got smarshed. I don't know what that means. I know what that means. I know what that means. Smarsh, get out of here. All right. When we get back, we have more to talk about today. Brendan Sorsby, Texas Tech quarterback, in the news. We'll talk about it next. Back here in the Bill House Studios, where we know how, 97.3 The Fan, Matt Skraby filling in for Braden Surprenant. Frank Marchese here as well. Braden will be back tomorrow, and hopefully he'll have a win to talk about. The Padres need a win in the worst way. And you know what, Frank? I really think the Padres need a win when they actually, when it feels like a win. I feel like they did win on Saturday, but I feel like it was more of a lucky win type of thing with the Fermín home run to put them on top. So I would like to feel like they actually won a game, get up 3-0 kind of thing, put in Mason Miller, close the game out. I feel like there's going to be a win. All right, we're going to talk about Braden Sorsby here in just a second, but I have to. I was really late today. I like to be here at least. Well, for Quinn and Chris, I'm usually here around noon or so for the 2 p.m. show, but I like to be here around 9:30 when I'm filling in for Braden. And I was very late today. I showed up at 9:51 a.m. to the point where that's late for me, very late. Like, I feel uncomfortable showing up that late, but I have a very good reason. So my parents are away, and I'm watching the dogs in the house. And so I got Lucky, and then I got my parents' 2 dogs. And Lucky and the other 2 dogs, they all get along. They're all friends. They all play. They actually get a little crazy sometimes when they're playing together. But here's what I saw on my way out of the house today. I took a shower, was coming downstairs, getting ready, putting my lunch together, and out of the corner of my eye, I see something flying in the air, Frank. Flying in the air. I'm like, what is that? And I go look, and it's Lucky, my dog, who has ripped a big hole in a potting soil bag and is throwing the potting soil bag in the air like it's the most fun thing that he has ever done. A full potting soil bag.
I have met Lucky.
Yes.
As his attorney.
He is his attorney.
As his attorney, Lucky is innocent.
How is he? I caught him with my own eyes.
Different dog.
It was a duplicate.
Yes.
It was a glitch in the matrix.
Yes. That was not Lucky that you saw.
It was just a hologram of Lucky.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Okay. Well, Lucky has a really great lawyer because
he would never do something like that.
Dominic says, the old potting soil bag toss bit.
Yeah. As Katrina says in the chat, Lucky is the goodest boy. You cannot make that stick on him. I'm sorry.
Well, I'm going to make it stick on him because I took the bag away from him and I looked at the mess, and that's what I have to deal with when I get home today. That's what I have to deal with when I get home today.
Okay.
Augie says, dogs, Liz says Lucky is innocent. Dogs can only be guilty of one crime, being too cute.
Exactly.
That is true.
Yeah. So you are going to have to, the slander I'm hearing on the radio right now is unreal. So Lucky and I will be asking for reparations in the form of extra bacon strips.
Oh, well, he doesn't get those, but
whatever snack.
You know what's kind of funny about Lucky?
Pepperonis, whatever.
He doesn't like treats. Isn't that like the most non-dog thing you've ever heard?
That is a little weird, yes.
And when he does get a treat, he'll, like, say I give him a bone. He'll stay with the bone in his mouth for like hours and will not chew it because he wants to chew it when the other dogs are watching and want his bone. It's a weird thing. I did see a really great joke from Gonzo. It was, where did it go? It said it was an imposter. IMPAWSTER. I love that. Good one, Gonzo. But yeah, so it's Lucky. He did it wrong. Liz says he gets extra snuggles. Yeah, probably.
You know what? He gets a new favorite chew toy. That's what he gets.
Oh, he loves chew toys.
So those are the reparations that we will be asking for.
Haven't tried the Trader Joe's treats yet, then Elisa says. No, that is true. I have not tried the Trader Joe's treats yet, but he's it was one of those things where I looked at it and I said, can't deal with you right now. Gotta go.
Cameron in the chat I'm going to steal a line from Braden from our open. This is fun. We're having fun.
We are having
It's fun. So have fun with us. Having fun. We're trying to have a little bit of fun here.
Oh, Marg has gone too far.
Uh-oh.
Marg has gone too far. Get rid of Lucky, like how we will get rid of Souza. I'm not going to block you, Mark, but we're close.
Yeah, we're getting there.
We're getting there. You ever talk about me giving up my dog Lucky again? It's not going to be a good day for you. I love that man. Wait, don't save that clip. I love that dog. Anyway, I was just trying to bring some levity to the situation, everybody, because if you can't laugh, are you really living, Frank?
And what is the first rule of radio that we've just run afoul of? Anytime you say don't save that clip, that clip is getting saved.
I know. All right, Braden Sorsby, Texas Tech quarterback. If you don't know, Texas Tech paid a bunch of money for him. They also paid a bunch of money for a billboard to go up in Times Square to welcome him to the team, which I don't really get or understand why Texas Tech is buying a billboard in Times Square, but that's besides the point. I'm just going to say it. This is, in my mind, one big, massive case of privilege working right before our eyes. I don't even care if people don't like me for this, because this, to me, is what's wrong with a lot of society. Brendan Sorsby is possibly going to get out of this because he has high-priced lawyers who are fighting for him to play, even though...
High-priced boosters as well.
Boosters, yes. Even though he completely admitted that he broke the rules. So, a guy who isn't denying that he broke the rules. He's saying, yes, I did break the rules. You guys are right. You guys found everything. I did break the new rules. A guy is now a guy who could play football and is going to get away with this because a judge has granted an injunction, and that means that he should be able to play for Texas Tech this coming year. There's going to be appeals, I've read, and all that. But here's a quick recap of how he got here, Braden Sorsby. The NCAA's investigation towards him found that he made thousands of bets totaling around $90,000 while he played with Indiana and Cincinnati. Chris, I just called you Chris. I'm in Skraby mode. Frank, he bet $90,000 when he was just with two teams. So I'm assuming that's like 2 or 3 seasons. 40 of those bets were placed on Indiana while he was a part of the roster. Although he didn't bet on the games that he played in, or so he says. In total, documents show Sorsby making at least 2,900 bets in just 2 years at Indiana, and he even continued when he transferred to Cincinnati. However, if that wasn't egregious enough, he also transferred money to family and friends to make bets on his behalf. If that's not screaming, I have a massive gambling issue, then I don't know what is.
But Skraby,
what?
He went to rehab,
okay,
dude.
let me get to that. I got a comment for that.
But he went to rehab, man. That wipes wipes his past away.
Ipe Mizuhara has comments about that whole thing. If he does play this year, Frank, which there is a possibility that he does not, if courts and all that stuff, we're headed down an incredibly slippery slope, and I'm honestly dumbfounded and disappointed in many different aspects of this. First and foremost, I'm disappointed in Brendan Sorsby for betting as much as he did. I'm disappointed in the NCAA for accepting gambling money, then saying it's a really bad to gamble and you shouldn't do it. I'm disappointed in Texas Tech for fighting to allow him to play, even though he clearly and admittedly broke the rules. And I'm disappointed in the people around Brendan Sorsby for encouraging him to do this. Here is a quote from his attorney, Jeffrey Kessler. Quote, "This case, I think, has been badly misunderstood by a lot of people. It's very important, and everyone understands that it is undisputed that he never did any betting to compromise the integrity of this team. The bets he made on his team were when he was not participating in the team, and he never bet again to do that." what this case is about is when you have no threat to competitive integrity, but you have mental illness of gambling addiction, which is plaguing student athletes across the country. The NCAA said it in its policies that it would consider supporting the athletes, but instead they want to punish them. That's wrong. We think it's illegal, and we hope the court would agree, end quote. Now, that quote right there is one of the most offensive quotes I think I've seen in a long time. And I find this offensive to people who actually have mental illness issues or gambling issues, because they're just basically saying, hey, he went to rehab. He's good. He could play again. It's okay. If they let this happen, Frank, if the not the NCAA, but if courts let him play, and Texas Tech deserves a little bit of responsibility in this whole thing.
A little?
Texas Tech deserves a lot of responsibility in this whole thing. They can make the right decision and say, you know what, we're not going to do this. He's not coming to play for our school. We'll pay him the money that we owed him, but it's better for our integrity than to pay him the money and jettison him than to keep him playing for our team and just trying to look the other way the entire time. I also saw something earlier today on Reddit that I thought was really smart. If Brendan Sorsby plays, what's to stop players that are undrafted free agents that don't make NFL teams but make NFL camps? What's to stop them from coming back and playing in college football now? It's like when basketball did that. A guy who played professionally came back to play for Alabama. And the blind just turning your head to all of this because it's going to help you win is disgusting.
Yeah, well, I'll let Braden rant on this tomorrow, but this is from Scott Van Pelt earlier today after the ruling was announced. There aren't any rules. You just go to court. If it fails, you go to court again until you find a judge that's willing to side with you.
Yes.
Want a seventh year? Sure. Broke rules? It's fine, because there aren't any rules. That is what this has now turned into. It is an absolute joke what college athletics have turned into.
Mm-hmm.
This is exactly why Pete Rose was banned from Major League Baseball for life.
Mm-hmm.
This is it. This is why, granted at a smaller scale, but this is exactly why. I'm sorry. Brendan Sorsby, sorry. No, I am sorry that you decided to bet on sports while you were playing said sport, whether you played in the game or not. I'm sorry that you made a conscious decision to do that, got caught, and now can't play in your senior year. I'm sorry that you are facing consequences for your stupid actions. Suck it up, take it like a man, and just eat it. Instead of crying to every single court and appealing every decision that doesn't go your way, which is exactly what you did, until you find a way to get away with it scot-free. This is why the government the government proposal that is out now that we talked about in our weekly update, the one for the new rules for college, basically a not a CBA
rules.
Yeah, it's
package.
It's a rule structure for college football. That's why this proposal is on the table, because that would stop this. That would stop being able to just go out and sue until you just get your way. It is embarrassing. It is disgusting. And again, for Texas Tech to think about, and don't get this twisted, when Texas Tech is saying, oh, but this kid deserves to play, they don't care about Brendan Sorsby. They care about themselves. They care about their ticket sales. They care about their standing in the SEC. They care about whether or not they make the college football playoff and have a chance at winning the national championship. They're in it for themselves. It is disgusting that, one, they let them go through with this, and two, the NCAA, who we had talked about for years and years and years, having so much teeth, and so they're so constricting on players. Now they've got absolutely nothing. And especially when they're right, they are in the right in this case, can't do anything about it.
Well said.
Big 12, sorry, in the SEC. Sorry. I was thinking of A&M.
It doesn't matter.
I was thinking of A&M.
I think it's very well said, and it makes me feel for all the people who have done something wrong, realize they've done something wrong, paid for their actions, and worked through all of that. It makes me feel for those people. 10 years ago, I did something more than 10 years ago. I did something really stupid. I ended up in jail because I was drunk. And really, really, really stupid. If I were to go to the judge and I would be like, hey, I stopped drinking and I went to rehab. Like, can you just let me go? He would laugh at me, Frank. He would laugh at me.
Yeah.
Sometimes I think you need to lie in the bed that you made. And that's what Braden Surprenant needs to do. However, he's not going to do that. Because there's so many people around him that are going to push for him to get what he wants. College football has slipped so far away from anything I really want to support anymore.
It's not even about Sorsby's parents, as Steph in chat said. I've seen it. I've seen it firsthand. You can get away with anything. Going to in high school. If you're a football player or a basketball player, especially if you're a good one, you can get away with anything because because the people around you enable you to be able to do that. It is absurd that he is not getting any form of reparation for this. It is rules for thee, but not for me.
Exactly. And what's to say when the next player gets caught for gambling? And I read an article about some basketball players at a small school who are in prison right now because they fixed games. If I were
a college football player right now, I'd be putting as many bets down in the college baseball World Series as I possibly could. Because you've just been shown that it doesn't matter.
By the way, they can never, if they allow him to play, I mean, the NCAA is trying to really stop this. Like, they're trying to put their best foot forward, but they've already let it get way too out of control. This is why we're in this situation. But he said, the attorney for the NCAA said, Mr. Sorsby didn't come forward. He got caught. And when he got caught, he went to treatment. And that's the first time you heard about this, quote, mental health concern. He was found out by law enforcement, and that's what triggered this. If you allow him to play, then every single player who has some sort of betting history should be allowed to play.
Yes.
You're setting that precedent right now.
Yep.
Whew. Steve says one thing that's overlooked, can't have grown men, aka 24, 25, 28-year-olds play college sports against 17, 18, and 19-year-olds. It's a health situation. Have to have an age max of 24 to play college. I don't disagree with that. I think the guys that are playing like 8 years in college, I understand that that's maybe the only way you're going to make money. Yeah. There should be follow the rules.
They're called doctors.
Follow the rules. Like, I don't know if 24 is an age because
24 would be like, say you start your freshman year at 19. If you have a summer birthday, you start your freshman year at 19. That's 5 years. So yeah, that's your redshirt year plus 4. So 24, I can see.
BYU's entire team is made up of 25-year-olds. Hasn't that been the way for a while? Just because of
Mormons just age differently.
Well,
from what I've heard.
Okay, we're just gonna move.
That was a joke. That was a pure joke.
Man. The world we live in these days, we got the Padres. Freddy Fermín's on top of the offensive world. We got a guy who gambled on his own team who's going to be able to play college football this year. It is a wild world.
So cool
that we live in. All right, Matt Skraby, Frank Marchese, filling in for Braden Surprenant. He's back tomorrow. When we get back, we'll go back to the Padres. We'll talk about Manny saying no to analytics, which I know people really, really love. Talk about that next. 97.3 The Fan. I know we're doing a lot of dog talk today, but I think corgis have a bad name. Get a bad name.
I don't think that's a corgi.
No, I know it's not corgi. Frank just showed me a video of a dog, and it wasn't a corgi, but I was thinking about a corgi I encountered over the weekend, and corgis sometimes are aggressive. But this corgi was the cutest, happy guy ever. And I was, I always thought corgis were mean, so he changed my way of thinking about corgis. If you have a corgi out there, please make your corgi be nice. Everybody wants their corgis to be nice. Braden Surprenant Show, Matt Skraby, Frank Marchese. Braden is back tomorrow. And all guests on 97.3 The Fan are brought to you by SDCCU. It's not big bank banking. It's better. All right. Manny Machado says no to analytics, which I think we've already known this over the years. But he, talking baseball and Marty Caswell were discussing this, and they had we have a little bit of audio for you.
Yeah, this is from the press scrum on Friday night, recorded by Marty, posted by Talking Baseball.
I just wish we can get the analytics out the way. I think there's too many stats out there, too many stats, way too many numbers. I don't even know half of the stuff that goes up there. I look at the board sometimes and I'm like, man, I even ask some of the guys, like, what is WCCVBB, whatever it is? Like what are these names that are being created? You know, I mean, it's just crazy to even keep up with.
weighted expected on base percentage.
Is it? Is that what it is? Yeah. What is that?
Something like that.
Yeah, it's crazy, dude. I mean, the pitching stuff like FIP or something like that. I think, right? The
Fielding independent pitching.
yeah. Like, what is that?
That's taking out the defense to say this guy.
All right. So
Basically.
why would you have that stat?
To
Isn't
show
baseball
how much of a stud a guy really is.
Yeah, but it takes a team to win a ball game, and not just one person.
I think
Yeah,
that's
One
what-
person could be that guy, right? So one person could carry a team, but this is a team sport. You don't win a championship by just one player. It takes a whole goddamn village to do it. So why are we creating these stats for? You know, I think that's the problem with baseball right now.
I don't disagree with Manny at all. I don't disagree with him at all. And actually, I think that was a very fun conversation for Manny. I know people always think that Manny's mad about something, but I don't think he was mad there. I think he was just having a conversation that he sounds like he's wanted to get off his chest for a while.
No, those stats are individual stats. Fielding independent pitching is made up for.
That's for us.
No, it's for general managers to figure out how much to pay a guy.
I
That's what
guess
they're
even if they're
for.
using FIP as that, but the WBCCVX like weighted on base, whatever Derek Togerson said, which credit to Derek Togerson for having all the answers to all Manny's questions. Like, I like analytics because it does tell us the normal baseball watcher how guys are doing against each other. Like Fernando's hard hit percentage, for example, how is that against the rest of the league? Okay, he's a 98% hard hit guy, so he's one of the best hard hit guys in the league. I think those are useful stats. The stuff, the on base expected, I don't get that, and I don't care about that because that's all based on a fairy tale world in my mind. That's based on fake numbers. You're using an equation that someone made up that thinks is the closest way to detail how someone's playing, but I don't disagree with Manny here. I don't think we need all those stats. And if they're out there, whatever, you can like them if you want to like them. But he's right. It takes 9 guys to win a baseball game. It does not take one guy to win a baseball game.
And again, a lot of those stats are for general managers when trying to judge a guy's value in free agency. That's mostly what it's for. Like fielded independent pitching. Why would you take the defense out of the game? It's because I want to know how much this pitcher is actually going to help me without the defense. And that's a lot the same thing to do with like offensive players and their offensive stats. They're all for general managers. Those are numbers that we weren't necessarily supposed to see, know, or have become a normal everyday thing in the baseball lexicon. That's just it just happened to be that way.
I don't think the Padres are having trouble swinging at pitches. I think the Padres are having trouble just hitting the ball completely. So you don't need the advanced metrics to tell you that they're like, how many times have we seen this year them swing through a fastball? It's right down the middle. A lot. Manny's missed a lot of those down the middle. Do I think Manny needs to pay attention to all these? No, he doesn't. But I would also encourage Manny to maybe look into some stats that would help. I'm sure there's some stats that he could look at, like, I don't know, swing speed, swing angle. I'm just throwing it out there. Those things are actual raw data numbers that you can use from a game. The FIP, again, is a number that's kind of made up. So, like, we don't need all of those to show that Manny is not hitting the ball right now.
No, all you need is batting average.
Yeah, I think the batting average stat, even though most people, or not most, some people don't pay attention to it anymore, it tells me a lot. The batting average stat and the OPS stat tell me a lot. If you have, I mean, let's split that up. The batting average on base and slugging tells me a lot because OPS can, if you're not getting on base, but you're hitting home run. So
there's one or the other.
Batting average tells me how often is this guy getting a hit or getting a hit. OPS or slugging tells me how much is this guy hitting for power, and on base is how much is this guy walking and getting on base. Those are the 3 stats I really need to tell about someone at the plate. And maybe exit velocity, launch angle. I like those too. I like real numbers. I like raw data numbers. But Manny is an old school baseball player. He did say in this article from Dennis Lin too, like he said when he started coming up in the game, it was 91, 92, 93 mile an hour fastballs, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's 101. He said, quote, the game's evolving. It's definitely getting hard to play. It's definitely getting more strategic. I just wish we can get the analytics out of the way. I think there's too many stats out there. We already heard all that. So I agree with him in that regard, but also don't turn your back on it when you're not hitting. Because I think when you're not hitting and you're being being stubborn about something, I think that's the perfect time to look into the stats, is when you're not hitting and you don't think you need them. But not the stats that he really doesn't need.
Not like that stuff. Like I don't care about somebody's X war on a Wednesday afternoon after they've sneezed at past 2:00 in a certain moon phase. I don't care. I'm sure
Certain moon phase.
I'm sure someone has that number somewhere. And
I'm
it's
sure.
it's probably a gambler. But just right now, your focus should be your batting average. You are batting 169. The team is batting 214. Worst in Major League Baseball by 15 points. It went into the weekend at 219. The team is not good right now.
You've made me speechless. It's really hard. That see, you know what? Let's just get rid of all stats, Frank. Let's just get rid of standings. Let's get rid of everything. We're just watching exhibition games every day.
You just faced the New York Mets, who, by the way, have the third worst batting average in baseball. Team batting average in baseball at 230. 16 points better than you.
Steph says maybe they need the torpedo bats.
Do you know where Cincinnati comes in batting average?
29th?
Oh, 27th.
Oh.
What their team batting average is? 230.
All right. So we're going to get two really bad offenses tonight. And Ellie De La Cruz, I don't think, is back yet.
No, Ellie is not back yet.
Sal Stewart is going to be in the lineup. And Sal Stewart, I remember last year, did hit a home run against the Padres in a game where they lost. So there you go. Manny says no to analytics, but we kind of agree with him. Matt Skraby, Frank Marchese here on 97.3 The Fan, filling in for Braden Surprenant. When we get back, the sports thread, and I did something to Frank that Chris does to me every single day. Stole one of his topics. We'll talk about it when we get back here, 97.3 The Fan. All right, back here. Working for the FB. That remix of that song is not good.
I said the same thing. I'm not a fan of it either.
Thank you. The original song is great, and it was great in Remember the Titans. Remember the Titans has a great soundtrack, if you didn't know. Matt Skraby, Frank Marchese, here on the Braden Surprenant Show, trying to get through today's 4 hours, not cry about the Padres, not get mad at Brendan Sorsby's, the people around him, and look forward to tonight. We will at some point look forward to tonight because they do have a game tonight.
Forward to the people on the floor below us.
Yeah, what are they
Messing around.
doing?
I have no idea.
Because we're on the 6th floor here.
Yeah.
And so obviously we can't have anyone on top of us because we're the top floor. But I do feel a lot of stuff going on in the floor. It's kind of weird. Anyway. All right. Let's just get into it.
Let's get into it.
The sports thread.
Oh, that's what we're getting
Yeah,
into.
I
Got
believe
it.
so. Yes.
You know that group chat? The one that's always blowing up with the biggest sports takes, debates, and breaking news?
You got barbecue back there, and you didn't invite me?
Yeah, we've got that too. Welcome to the Sports Thread, where we break down the top 5 stories in sports, just like you would with your crew.
Oh, no! Disaster! What a bad idea!
No filters, no silence, just real talk.
All righty. Our first topic of today was the fact that the NCAA had shut down Sorsby's thing, but then the judge decided to completely make us look stupid. So we changed it anyway. Greg Sankey pushed back on growing speculation that the SEC and Big Ten are exploring a merger or planning to form a college sports super league, calling those claims untrue. Sankey's comments comes as Congress debates sweeping legislation aimed at reshaping college athletics, including proposals that will allow conferences to voluntarily pool their media rights. While the SEC acknowledges that changes are needed in the rapidly evolving college sports landscape, Sankey said the conference has significant concerns about the bill and is evaluating its potential impact. His remarks underscore the growing tension between college sports leaders and lawmakers as both sides try to determine the future structure of the industry. Do you believe college sports is inevitably heading towards a super league made up of the biggest brands, or can the current conference structure survive despite the financial pressure reshaping the sport?
I believe a super league or whatever is coming because that's how they can control everything. It just seems like the big conferences, the SEC, the Big Ten, mainly the SEC, are. He said there's no truth to the comments, but obviously they're getting it from somewhere. I understand why he said no truth, because there's not really any hard set information on this. But am I wrong to think that there's bigger money in a super league, and so that's where they're going to go?
I like the conferences as they are. I don't like the conferences completely running the show, seemingly just separate of the NCAA, and the NCAA is just going along with it. What college sports, I think, needs right now, especially, is they need kind of like what all the other sports do, which is you've got Major League Baseball at the top making the final decision, and the owners, the conferences, putting their input in and making the decisions that way, instead of just these conferences and schools going off and doing whatever they want. It's just absurd the way college does it. It really is.
That's it. It's absurd.
Number 2.
One football team that has been in the news quite a bit as far as potentially moving is a team that we all know very well. It is a team that is known as
The Bears.
The Bears.
Took a major step towards potentially leaving Illinois after their board of directors voted to advance stadium development plans in Hammond, Indiana. While no final decision has been made and Illinois officials insist they are still trying to keep the franchise in state, Indiana has emerged as the leading option thanks to significant financial incentives and legislation designed to support a new domed stadium project with
The Bears.
lease at Soldier Field running through 2033. The vote marks the clearest indication yet that one of the NFL's founding franchises could eventually relocate its home games across state lines. If the Bears ultimately move to Indiana but remain part of the Chicago market, would fans view it as a smart business decision or a betrayal of the franchise's historic ties to the city?
First, they have to move to Gary, so I can call them the Gare Bears. It's one of the things that I need in life if they're going to move, is to be called the Gare Bears. Excuse me. Now, to answer the question, this is a complicated one. I can't speak for the Chicagoans, but I think it's going to be a betrayal. I think it's going to be let me rephrase this. Somewhat of a betrayal, because now you're going to be having to drive across state lines for it.
I think Hammond, Indiana is actually closer to Chicago than where the Bears play now.
No, the Bears play in Chicago.
Or one of the proposed sites.
One of the proposed sites.
Yeah, one of the proposed sites.
I know that they had one outside of Chicago in Illinois. They had one in Gary, Indiana, and then they had one in Hammond as well. Mm-hmm. This is just, all over. It goes back to the same thing. Like, teams want the money that a stadium produces, but they don't want to pay for the stadium. And now you have these cities that are just doing whatever they can to get these teams to build stadiums in their place. I think that it's a bad look. I mean, it's a bad look. And let me also say this. I don't know the exact deal that's being put forth between the state and the Bears. I could just say that probably the NFL team wants more than what the state wants to give them. But I would say that this is a little bit of a betrayal.
And for the state of Illinois, they've said that this is not a guaranteed, it's not a done deal move that they are moving to Hammond. So there's still time to work it out. And state of Indiana said that state of Illinois said they are still actively working on it. But this does seem like a very, very real thing that could possibly happen.
And the chat is saying, Mime Jr. says, Skraby, you could look at the 49ers as an example to what the Bears are trying to do. I was trying to keep them out of it because I've been crushed in the past for even mentioning that the 49ers moving to Santa Clara from San Francisco is a big deal. It was a big deal. It still is a big deal. My aunt and uncle had season tickets for years and years and years. They had to drive an extra hour and 10 minutes to every single game now. So now it's a 2-hour drive to the game instead of a 45-minute drive to the game. And fans don't really consider it. Fans just go with it. They just go with it.
Yep. A
lot of people don't, and I don't.
At the end of the day, we're all suckers.
Yes, we are.
Number 3.
The Cincinnati Reds received encouraging news on 2 of their biggest stars as ace pitcher Hunter Greene is progressing faster than expected from offseason elbow surgery and could return before the All-Star break. Not tonight, not this week. Relax. Greene is scheduled to throw live batting practice and may begin a minor league rehab stint soon, accelerating a recovery timeline that initially projected him for mid to late May return. The Reds have also moved up the next MRI date for Elly De La Cruz, giving the club hope that both cornerstone players could be back in their lineup sooner than anticipated as Cincinnati pushes towards the second half of the season. Again, not tonight, not this week. They're both out. If Hunter Greene and Elly De La Cruz return ahead of schedule, do the Reds have enough talent to make a legitimate playoff push, or is the gap too large to overcome even with their stars coming back?
I have always liked the Reds. I've always liked this iteration of the Reds. Elly De La Cruz is doing better each and every year. He's striking out less. He's hitting for average more. Hunter Greene is a great pitcher. He just gets hurt all the time. If those guys can stay healthy, I think they have a chance to make the playoffs. I think they got some really good young players. They have Sal Stewart playing first base. You got, I think Eugenio Suarez is still hurt, but you got guys that can hit for power. You got pitching. You got a lot there in Cincinnati, and you got a good manager in Terry Francona.
You may have to worry about, you may not have to worry about Hunter Green, but you definitely do have to worry tomorrow about Chase Burns.
Chase Burns is very good, and he throws very high heat.
Yeah, 7-1 with a 2.05 ERA. He's the red starter tomorrow. So,
Number 4.
the long-running NBA investigation into the Los Angeles Clippers and allegations of salary cap circumvention involving star forward Kawhi Leonard appears to be nearing a conclusion. NBA Commissioner Adam Silver said the investigation is, quote, far along and close to wrapping up after the league investigators interviewed Kawhi, Clippers owner Steve Ballmer, and team executives and others connected to the case. The inquiry centers on claims that a sponsorship deal between Leonard and the now defunct company Aspiration was used to provide additional compensation outside of the NBA salary cap rules. Allegations both Leonard's camp and the Clippers strongly deny. With the league now evaluating evidence, the focus shifts from the investigation itself to whether or not any discipline will be issued and what precedent that decision could set across the NBA. If the NBA cannot find clear evidence of wrongdoing, should the league close the case with no punishment, or does the appearance of impropriety alone require some form of action to protect confidence in the salary cap system?
Honestly, this has been a very confusing story, this whole thing with the Clippers and with Kawhi Leonard and the NBA. I think the NBA needs to they need to do something about this, because it's kind of clear to us that they were using this as some sort of signing bonus for Kawhi Leonard and circumventing the salary cap. So if this team is doing it, there's got to be other teams that have at least thought about doing it or are doing it. So I think the NBA needs to be pretty strict about this. You can't just be having Steve Ballmer call up a friend who, by the way, the company that the guy represented is out of business now. It's a whole massive bad thing. And the NBA needs to get away from this as fast as possible.
MLB salary cap. Let's go.
Number 5.
Alexander Zverev finally broke through on the sport's biggest stage, defeating Flavio Caboli. In a 5-set thriller to win the French Open and captured the first Grand Slam title of his career. After falling short of his previous 3 major finals, Zverev took advantage of a wide open draw and overcame the 4th-set tiebreaker loss before dominating the deciding set to secure the championship. The victory marks a career-defining moment for the German star, who has long been considered one of the best players to never win a major, and now removes that label with a breakthrough triumph win at Roland Garros. Now that Alexander Zverev has finally won a Grand Slam title, does this change how his career will be remembered, or does he still need multiple championships to reach that next tier of tennis greatness?
More. We always need more. We always need more. One doesn't do it for anyone anymore. You have to have multiple now. I mean, you look at a guy who wins a golf major, no one cares about that guy. Zverev, I'm just being honest. I'm not the tennis expert. Usually Chris is a tennis expert for our show. I've heard his name many, many times, but he's got to keep winning. That's what you have to do. You know who is at the next tier right now? Alcaraz.
Mm-hmm.
Sinner, even though Sinner was a sinner and cheated. Hey-o. I think he needs to win. No.
We have established many times on this show, just because it's funny doesn't save you from getting a foul.
But that's his name is Sinner.
I know his name is
he
Sinner.
He sinned by taking steroids.
He draws the foul.
It's 2.
What happens if I get 3?
Well, no, if you get 6, you're done. It's you foul out.
Oh, so I can just keep saying this over and over and
No.
foul out.
No, this is not a
Anyway.
hack-a-shack situation here.
Tennis. I like watching tennis. Tennis has a really hard time breaking through. Even golf is more prominent than tennis, which I don't necessarily understand. Tennis is more action. So I don't know why people would choose golf over tennis. Maybe because more people play golf. I don't know.
Tennis always seemed more. It's always got that pompous, rich feeling around it too.
You don't think golf has that either?
Oh no, it does. But
Okay.
tennis, I think more so.
Yes, I agree. All right, that's it for the first 2 hours of the show. When we get back, we will update you on everything that's happened today, get you set for the game tonight. That's Gravy, Frank Marchese filling in for Braden Surprenant on 97.3 The Fan. 2 more hours to go before Gwen and Chris get you set for this game between the Padres and the Reds tonight. I'm Matt Skraby. Frank Marchese is here with me as well. And we've been talking about the Padres. We've been talking about Brendan Sorsby. We've talked about the Gare Bears. If you don't know, the Gary, Indiana is trying to get the Bears. So is Hammond, Indiana, trying to get the Bears. So we've talked about a lot today. And one of the things that we talked about was my dog and how he got into a bag of potting soil and he threw it around in the air. He was having the greatest time in the world. And Frank continues to defend him. Frank continues to try to get me to believe that it was not him who did it, even though I saw it with both of my own eyes.
It was, but it wasn't.
It was him.
Wasn't.
He looked at me and he gave me that look like, I know I'm in trouble, but boy, did I have fun, Dad. Boy, did I have fun. And if you're just tuning in for the first time, I don't have any kids, so my dog Lucky is my child. I will see what happens when we get back home today. I will see if there's if that potting soil is just everywhere, because that's what, if everybody's thinking, what is Skraby going to do after the show today with this newfound time? I'm going to be cleaning up potting soil in the backyard because Lucky decided to throw it in the air.
All right, chat. Let's to the YouTube chat. Let's play a little game here, shall we?
Uh-oh. What is that?
Let's go on this website here.
Oh no. What are we doing?
And discuss what Lucky's reparations should be.
Oh, reparations.
Yeah.
Wait,
so,
you're giving him a payment?
Well, no, this is what you're for you wrongly accusing Lucky.
Oh, I'm not wrongly accusing
No,
him.
yes, you are.
No.
So for anyone who's watching on YouTube, we are on the Kong Company, the dog toy website right now.
Which, by the way, Kong toys are very good. They last.
I think this bear looks adorable. The squirrel's also really nice.
Okay, all right.
We're trying to.
There's like a squid there.
Yeah, there is. Yeah, there's a squid. We got tires, but Lucky. Let's give him some. If you've wrongly accused him, we're not going to get him just something made out of pure rubber. We're not going to get him like a tire.
Well,
toy.
he does love to rip like stuffed animals open.
Yeah, which is why we're on the Kong website. Those are tough. Look at the duck. Oh my God.
He would actually really love the duck. How much is that duck?
$4.
Oh, that's within price too. Because I don't buy toys for Lucky that are expensive because he will ruin them in about 5 minutes. Like one of his favorite things to do is to rip up old like cheap toys.
I think actually, you know what? I've consulted.
You've consulted.
I have consulted with Lucky here.
Okay. Okay.
And now looking at the prices, we want either the cozy alligator.
The alligator does look kind of cool.
Or the Knott's Twist giraffe.
Ooh, the giraffe.
Yeah.
It's got a long neck you could play tug of war with.
Yeah, we're looking for something a little bit higher in the price range, something you're a little bit less comfortable purchasing instead of the $5 duck.
Okay, well, I could tell Lucky's lawyer, which is you apparently. The $5 is the only price range that we're going after. Kong has a ton of toys.
Look at the floppy knot fox here.
Okay, we're done with this. Take the Kong off the website or off the thing, because you know what? I'm gonna go on this later. I'm gonna buy all the toys.
You want to buy a shaker honker?
No, I don't.
It's a duck.
I see on the screen what it is. The
slaps roof of the car, but have you seen the llama?
Joseph says my vote is the duck or the giraffe. Everybody out there who's voting, it's actually not happening because
it is. Look at there's the llama, there's the Sherp's llama right there.
That is kind of cool. All right, we need to move on. We cannot just shop for Lucky reparations.
See, you say that
in the segment. MLB, well, I guess we'll just recap here. Just go through some of the thoughts that I had earlier for anybody who's just getting in their car on a lunch break or something. But I'm usually, as I said before, all of this, I'm usually someone who tries to look at the bright side of things, but I can't do it right now. The team has not been great as of late. The last time the Padres had any sort of winning streak which was 2 games, was when they took the first 2 against the A's, and in the 13 games since the team took those 2 against the A's, they've gone 2-11, and in 9 of those 13 games, the Padres trailed first. 4 of those 13 games, the Padres allowed the opponent to score in the first inning. It's after this weekend against the Mets, they lose 2 of 3. The only one they win is because Freddy Fermín hits a 2-run shot late in the game on Saturday. Yesterday, first inning, came right out. Mets score. It was one of those days again. You're looking up at the Mets the entire day. You get a little bit closer. One of the things we didn't really talk about earlier, because I didn't have the time to do the research, but it just feels right now like anytime the Padres score runs, the immediate inning after that, Padres pitching gives up those runs. So it's just a constant uphill battle for this team right now, and it's not getting better. It's not. I know that people say, well, it can't get any worse. It actually can. It actually can. It's getting to the point where being worse is just being no hit every single day, which is not going to happen. But it's frustrating because you have good pitching and no hitting. You have no hitting and mediocre pitching. You have slight hitting and bad pitching. You have no hitting and bad pitching. You have great pitching and you have bad hitting. And the one thing in common there is just poor hitting. Another thing we did talk about, Frank, earlier on Friday, Jackson Merrill tried to bunt early in that game, and he ended up bunting it. He bunted for an out because he popped it up and is a Beatty at third base, ran and made a great play. Yeah, in foul territory. That is one of the most. That is an out that makes me very angry because it's so avoidable. And Jackson Merrill took the responsibility for it later in the game. He told reporters after, I fault myself for it. I've been swinging a pretty good bat, I feel like, the last week. Probably on me. Should have been in there ready to swing early in the game. Probably not the smartest decision. He said he's not going to fault himself for attempting the bunt. He just needs to know the situation going up there. We need to get something going. We need somebody to drive the ball in the gap and get it going. This is something we've seen with Jackson Merrill a couple times. We've seen him take it upon himself to bunt, and things haven't gone well, and it kind of throws a wrench in everything. I'm not saying that you should never bunt, but in that situation, early in the game, with Ty France on base, I think you have to swing the bat. Jackson Merrill has to be the guy that he knows he is. We've seen what he is. I need him to swing the bat there. Like, that's the best chance for you to drive the runner in on second. If you bunt him over to third, you've given up an out, and now you're just hoping that they could score a runner from third. How many times have we seen that not happen? So I understand where Jackson Merrill was going with that. He's just trying to help the team, and helping the team would be to get Ty France from second to third. But that's not what they need from him right now. And this goes back to the pressing stuff. That is, to me, an example of pressing. You have a guy who in his head thinks our offense is so bad right now that our best chance is for me to sacrifice bunt Ty France from second to third. And it's not a sound decision. If you get the guy on third, great. But again, there's just as much of a chance that Jackson Merrill hits a home run or singles and drives in Ty France, or even, I don't know, somehow fielder's choice, I don't know, somehow gets the runner to third by swinging away. So those are some of the things that I'm not really a fan of. The base running, not a fan of. Like Fernando, it's hard to come down on him because he's been really good as of late at the plate. He's getting on base. He's doing things, but we've seen him twice in the last week make 2 massive base running errors. He had the one in Philly where he overran second and they had to go, he got caught in the rundown and he was out. And then yesterday he tries to steal third I'm not sure what he was looking at. Steal third with 2 outs, and he was out. It ended the inning. And he had a guy in second. And Frank said this earlier, your best shot as a team is to have Fernando stay on second and see if a guy could get a timely hit. That's another thing Padres don't have right now. Timely hits. It just is not happening. Like I know that offenses go up and down, but this has been a slog right now. And it's to the point where there's not really an explanation for this anymore. You have your best hitter, Manny Machado, hitting 169.
Bless you.
Thank you. It was more of a cough.
Everyone who comes into this studio midday apparently has an allergy towards
I'm pretty
any
sure it's
form
the
of
seat.
labor.
I'm pretty sure it's the seat because
Braden
I don't do
sneezes
it
all the time too.
I don't do it over there. I always do it over here. Anyway,
phrasing.
Sorry, that was bad. They're struggling right now, the Padres, to the point where Freddy Fermín is probably going to get a third straight day as the catcher because he's the only guy who's hitting right now. He hit a home run yesterday, 2-run shot yesterday, 2-run shot on Saturday. But all of these mistakes are starting to add up, and it's adding up into this massive losing streak. And they have to, like, it's been said a million times, season's very long. I agree with that. But right now, you're in a stretch where you could lose the season if you keep going on this for a couple more weeks. I don't think you can get to the All-Star break with the roster that you have right now. That's why I said earlier, I think they need to make a trade for an outfield bat. They need to find someone. And I heard Ben Woods talking about this. How crazy would it be if Luis Ariz came back to the Padres? And I said this when Luis Ariz went to the Giants. I think Padres fans are going to miss Luis Ariz. And what are we doing? We're missing Luis Ariz right now. And I don't know how much he's going to change the fortunes of the Padres, but it's just, you need someone who's getting on base. You need someone who is getting on base. And right now, that is Fernando, but then he's running into outs and he's ending innings. So, like, whenever they do something good, it's 1 step forward, 2 steps back. And I'm just waiting for the time that it's multiple steps forward. And another recount or reprisal of what we talked about earlier. I don't think the hitting coach needs to be fired. I don't think the manager needs to be fired. Now, if you want to make a point, do you fire the hitting coach? Sure. Do I think it's going to change anything? No. But it certainly makes a point that you're being serious about this season. So we got a lot going on with the Padres right now. I got a lot going on with my throat right now. So we're going to go to break. I don't know what happened in the last 5 minutes to my voice. We're going to go to break. We're going to talk more about the Padres, get into some other sports stories. MLB grades for May for the National League. Should be fun. Next. Is this Jonah and the Lion or whatever? Judah and the Lion?
No, this is Zach Bryan.
Okay. I failed on my music knowledge. Matt Skraby, Frank Marchese here. 97.3 The Fan. Adam Klug is in the house. He's going to be sitting in my seat for Gwen and Chris. And I know that Tony and Chris aren't listening right now, so I can totally say this, but they texted me earlier, like asking the plan for the show today, even though I sent a text this morning reminder. I'm filling in for Braden.
Text Adam, boys.
Basically, I was like, yep, it's on Adam, guys. Go ahead and text him. They need me as much as they say they don't need me.
Was this before or after you accused your poor sweet dog of messing with the potting soil?
This was after. This was after I accused him. So I guess I'm just, and it wasn't an accusal. It was. I found the evidence, which was my own 2 eyes seeing him throwing the potting soil into the air and having it rain down on him. I wish I had it on video for you, Frank.
He could have been saving the backyard. You have no idea. You have no idea the context. I mean, he didn't do it, but there's context. We talk about it on the show all the time. The context is king.
Yes, the context was I walked around the corner, saw him playing with him. I'm not going to let you talk me into this.
But you don't know what was happening before you saw it.
It's good. It's true. My parents' dog, her name is Kelly, and we rescued her, and her name was.
You ask her?
Her name was Grace Kelly because the rescue will name different litters or boxes of dogs that they get from Mexico after like a certain theme, and so her box was like 20s movie stars. Irish. And so her name was Grace Kelly, which obviously is way too long to say. So now it's just Kelly. But when you yell Kelly at a park and there's other Kellys there, it's very strange because they all turn around. It's kind of funny, actually. Kelly, get over here. You have some other Kelly looking at me like, are you talking to me?
Yeah. You have 2 dogs and 3 girls, like some grandmother looking over like, huh?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And I'm like, no, I'm just talking to the dogs. I'm just talking to the dogs. Mime says Skraby is an unreliable source. So I don't disagree with that.
I love you filling in because Juan is all over you instead of me.
Juan doesn't like me for some reason.
It's awesome.
I mean, I know I'm not for everyone. I'm slightly annoying from time to time, but I think I'm an okay person.
This is incredible.
I think I'm an okay person. Have you ever done calling me an unreliable source? Have you ever done one of those things where I did this in college where they said at some point in the next month, someone's going to run in here, someone's going to steal something, and then you all are going to have to like tell us what you saw. And so they did this. It's amazing, Frank, how many people think they see what they see. So I could be an unreliable source. Oh, Mime Jr. says you love me.
See, you're talking.
Mime. Thank you,
See,
Mime.
This is why.
All right. Dane Perry, Matt Snyder, and Mike Exisa of CBS Sports have graded the graded Major League Baseball after 2 months, or I'm sorry, the National League after 2 months. Let's just go through them quickly, and we'll stop if we need to. Frank, stop me if you want to. Diamondbacks a B+. I have to agree with that. They are now ahead of the Padres. I just heard Frank groan. Your mic's not on.
Let's do this properly.
What?
Okay. You got me all messed up. I didn't even have my mic on. Let's set the table here.
Okay. All right.
Got it. We're doing MLB grades.
Okay, we're doing MLB grades for the National League first 2 months.
Frank, hit the music.
Frank, hit the music. Wow. Okay, now I got it. Okay.
Bro, just going straight in.
Yeah, in the show I produce, I just hit the music when I feel like it. All right. Arizona Diamondbacks get a B+ from the CBS Sports crew. I agree with this. They have been looking great. And the one thing I will say about the Diamondbacks, Corbin Burns is not going to come back this year. He had a setback. So, I mean, he might come back later in the year, but he had a setback. He's not going to be pitching anytime soon. Braves have an A. Obviously, they're probably the best team in baseball right now. It's pretty crazy. I agree. The Cubs get a C. And I think this is fair. I think this is fair for them because they did have those 2 10-game winning streaks, but they also lost like 10 games in a row, and then they've been up and down since. PCA hits a bunch of game-tying, game-winning home runs over the weekend. I think a C for the Chicago Cubs is fair in this. The Reds surprised me. They gave the Reds a B. And now the Reds are under 500 now. I don't see a B here.
They're the first National League Central team under 500 since April 19th.
Wow. The National League
That's
Central is
how
such a
long.
weird division. It's like all the teams that no one cares about. I guess the Cubs, I guess the Cubs.
Well, it's the
about.
American League Central. It's just the
That's
pure
true.
abyss of Major League Baseball.
I don't think the Reds should be a B. The Rockies get a C. I don't think we really care about anything other than they get a C.
They're not as bad as we all thought.
I said this before the
They're not.
year. They're going to be a not a playoff team, but they're going to be not a pushover team either.
I want Chase Dollander to actually start starting games.
Yeah, he keeps
Instead
doing
of
the
being-
opener
yeah.
thing.
Just start the game, bud. That's
The
really
opener
going to
thing-
hurt. That's really going to hurt his value.
Like, isn't Mania he's a reliever starter now?
Manayo is an opener. He was coming back off of injury and it just stuck and worked that way. David Peterson was starting to become an opener player, but he is now just straight up in the bullpen because he couldn't even do that. So it's starting to come back, the whole opener thing.
I don't like it. Dodgers get an A. We really don't need to talk about that. I mean, the Dodgers, the Ben Woods, I was listening on the way down. Everybody has curses happen to their franchise except for the Dodgers for some reason. I mean, I know that they lost some championships there, but right now everything is going right for the Dodgers, and they get an A.
Dodgers is good. Moving on.
Marlins get a C. Whatever.
They're last place too, which is interesting because they ended last year so hot.
They did.
And now they've just, I mean, they started off this season okay. They're 5-1, I think, this month, but they just fell off a cliff in April.
They did. Last year, they finished their final 87 games, 49-38. So that's what you're talking about.
Mhm.
They just have, what's his name? Who was the big hitter for them who had a bunch of home runs last year?
Oh, Kyle Stowers.
So, yeah, he had a really tough start to the year as well. So
Still not up to par this year.
that's why baseball is enjoy it while you're good.
Might be a guy you can trade for now.
Maybe. I think he's from here too.
Yeah, he is the guy now who you would trade for. He's that guy who you saw the potential. You saw the potential up there. Now he's not. He's underperforming. He's the kind of guy that you could get right now.
KG says, just tell us if we got a D or an F. I'm taking my sweet time. Brewers get an
You're
A.
taking your sweet time. You're burning through this, bud.
The Brewers get an A, which I think is true. Jacob
Fair.
Mizorowski's been great. They just play good baseball. They play good baseball. They don't have huge priced players. If you want the Padres to be like someone, be like the Brewers.
There's got to be a whale below us at this point.
Yeah, I don't know what's happening, but there is a lot going on in the floor below us. The Mets get a straight up F. Mike Exisa said, failing grade with the capital F, which I don't disagree. This team has put so much money into it. The owner of the team has put so much money into it. They've had a lot of injuries this year. They've had a lot of underperforming this year. I will say this, Frank, about your Metropolitans. I got some good young players.
Yes.
I got some good young players. Carson Benj, Brett Beatty, and I liked what I saw from AJ Ewing yesterday. AJ Ewing made some great center field plays yesterday.
Yeah, Ewing, and I believe Tony and Jesse were talking yesterday about that at bat he had against Mason Miller in the ninth inning on Saturday night.
Yeah.
So Ewing looks like he could be legitimate for sure. Jorge Polanco is going to turn into the next Jed Lowry. He's going to sign for a ton of money, play 2 games, and then just never see him again. Luis Robert Jr., that's looking like a botch of a trade.
What happened to that guy? He was like
back spasms.
Well,
His
no,
back's
I'm just
bothering
talking
him.
about he was one of the hottest hitters in baseball for like 2 years, and they just fell off the face of the earth.
It's a perfect time for the Mets to get him.
You could say that about the Padres as well. The Phillies We should also say Juan Soto missed time with the Mets, but
Yeah, they were winning though without him.
They were. Phillies get a D, which I think is a little low for how much they've rebounded ever since they fired Robbie Thompson. But they started the year 9-19. Now they're over 500, and they have the hottest hitting home run guy in the league in Kyle Schwarber. Bryce Harper also doing some good things this year.
Yeah, no, he's been solid, unfortunately. And after, again, you could say that the managerial change really helped boost them a little bit. But again, look at the schedule that they played after that. They played.
It was like the Rockies.
I'm looking at it right now. So they played the Braves. You were going to lose that series. You played the Cubs and Braves for 2 weeks in a row. When you lost that 10 game, when you lost those 10 games in a row, then you won. Then you swept the Giants, who are hopeless. Beat the Marlins 3 out of 4. Beat the A's 2 out of 3. Beat the Rockies 2 out of 3. Beat the Red Sox 2 out of 3. Swept the Pirates. And then you got to playoff caliber teams, the Reds and the Guardians, and you lost those series. So their schedule got light. So it was good timing on their part for that.
All right. I still think a D is too low.
No, I do too. I'm just saying it's not necessarily the managerial change. There's the managerial change and the schedule as well.
I can agree with that. Pittsburgh Pirates, I think they've been better than we thought this year. They get a B-. Brandon Lau's been pretty good. Ryan O'Hearn's been really good. Marcell Ozuna, good thing the Padres didn't go after him. Paul Skeens has been good as well. So the Pirates, we'll see about them. But I like what they're building. The Cardinals get an A-. Is it a world of baseball without the Cardinals getting some sort of praise?
I mean, they have come out a lot better than expected. They were one of the few teams that I was expecting to lose 100 games this year. They have been a lot better. Michael McGreevy's looking like a top line starter. Jordan Walker's finally
realizing his talent.
Yeah, and JJ Weatherholt, you didn't know what you were going to get from him. He was a top prospect coming in first year, getting to play every single day. He's really played out well also.
Yeah, Cardinals have been good. I want to see how they do, how they can go through the summer with some of these guys. Because JJ Weatherholt, as you said, I always look for the rookies that are playing a lot, because this is a long season even for them, even for the younger guys. Padres, I am stunned by this grade.
Hold on to your hats, boys.
I am stunned.
And girls.
By this grade. B+.
Woo!
Now, I'm just going to read the paragraph. This is from Dane Perry. The Pods boast the 4th best record in a tough NL, and that's good for the top wildcard position. I don't think it is anymore. On the downside, their very modest run differential of +2 suggests they should be a 500 team thus far. That's a concern moving forward, as the Padres could undergo a course correction based on that underlying quality of play. That said, having a closer like Mason Miller can theoretically help a team outplay its run differential. On another level, San Diego is winning without to date getting much from Fernando, Manny, and Jackson Merrill. Those players should find their accustomed level at some point. This is a bad grade.
This was before. Let me just, because Braden and I were supposed to go over this last week and just never got to it.
Yeah.
This is from May 28th. So it's about
it's 10
a week.
days old.
Yeah, it's a week and a half old. So this doesn't take a decent amount into account with what the Padres have done. So yeah,
I'll just say
it's
this:
a little rough.
If we had an extra 10 days on this, I think their grade goes from B+ to C-, because their hitting has been that abysmal.
Yeah,
over the past 2 weeks.
It's getting worse. It's only getting worse.
Oh, someone swore in the chat, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, did I say something?" I had a dream, Frank, the other day. Have you ever had a dream of swearing on the air?
Yep.
Okay, good. Back to the pod. A B+. If this was 10 days ago, still don't even think it was a B+.
It looked a lot better 10 days ago. It doesn't look that good now.
The Giants, F, which I agree with. They've been terrible this year, although they've had a good week. The Nationals get a B, which I can agree with as well, because they've been better than people thought. But those are some of the grades out there. I think most of those still stand, even though this is a little bit, maybe a week or so old. The Padres are not a B plus, no matter what you look at.
No
matter when it was written. If this was the first month of the season, they get an A plus because they were winning without anybody doing anything. But that's not the case anymore. So,
would you like to do the midday sports standoff?
Yes.
Do you have a question today? All right. So call in 833-288-0973. We'll get you a chance to get you qualified to go on a trip with the midday sports standoff.
All right. Midday sports standoff. If you play me, you're going down. That's next. One thing people don't understand about working at 97.3 The Fan on the radio station is that everybody's very invested in the Padres here. Doesn't matter what station it is. It could be Sunny, it could be Alt, it could be Kixie, could be us, could be KSON. Don't know how I almost forgot KSON. But everybody wants to talk about the Padres in the hallways. You cannot be stopped without talking about how things are going with the Padres, which is really, I mean, it's obviously the topic of conversation, but it's kind of depressing, Frank. It's very depressing. When do you guys think the Padres are going to start hitting? I don't know. I don't know. Are the Padres done? I don't know. Is Manny Machado washed? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know anything. Okay. We need to get to the sports standoff, but the Xander Bogaerts, we're giving away the tickets or the
we're giving away tickets.
There it is. Found it. You will be
game.
qualified for a chance at our grand prize, a 2-night stay at Town and Country Resort and a $250 food and beverage credit. Work on your resting vacation face this summer at Town and Country Resort. 3 pools and a 4-story water slide named Twister make Town and Country a family favorite. Rates start at $199 per night. Exclusive $199 per night. Exclusively for fan listeners, visit towncountry.com/thefan to book now.
Welcome to Midday Sports Standoff on the Braden Surprenant Show.
I can't believe what I'm seeing right now.
The ultimate head-to-head battle where sports knowledge and quick thinking collide.
No, he's no good. Are you kidding me?
Contestants will go toe-to-toe with Braden in a sports trivia deal where every correct answer brings them closer to victory.
Down the sideline! Wow! Unbelievable!
But 3 strikes and it's game over.
This is not Detroit, man. This is the Super Bowl.
Can you outsmart Braden? The Midday Sports Standoff starts now.
All righty. So we have Michael playing today, and Michael is in El Cajon. How you doing today, Michael?
Doing well. How about you guys?
Good.
Pretty good.
All right. So today, threw Skraby a little bit of a curveball. I put the
It's good because I'm best at hitting curveballs.
the question that I put on there. It's not the question that we're going to be doing today.
Good because I didn't have good answers for that question.
The question that we have today is the Cincinnati Reds have made it to the World Series 9 times in their history.
Wow, that's a lot more than I would have thought.
And they have played 6 different opponents.
Huh.
Who are the teams that the Cincinnati Reds have played in the World Series? Now, if they've played them multiple times, you will get points. So if they played someone 4 times, you'll get 4 points for that answer. And also, there are no teams that no longer exist, like the Washington Senators are
Or like
not
the
going to appear.
Expos or
Yeah,
something.
exactly. Are not going to appear on this list. So, Michael, you got it?
Yep, got it.
All right. Michael, you have the first guess.
Let's just go with the Yankees since they're always there.
They have played the Yankees 3 times, so that's 3 points for Michael.
Wow. You know what? I am kind of in luck with this because I did live in Cincinnati for like a year, and everybody talks about the Big Red Machine all the time. Everybody talks about like the Pete Rose teams. Everybody talks about how those teams were, and I can't remember any of those teams that they played. One does stick out to me. I think they played the Red Sox. Oh,
That's your Big Red Machine team right there. That's the one that they beat.
That's
So
why it stuck
Skraby, 1 point for Skraby. So Michael, you're still 2 points in the driver's seat.
Let's go with Boston Red Sox. I think they lost.
He just said Boston.
Oh. We go to the White Sox? Different color Sox?
What?
Their first ever World Series
my
was
gosh.
against the Chicago White
sorry,
Sox.
guys.
Yes.
No, that's good. I mean, that's a good guess.
Go ahead, Skraby. That's
Actually,
4
my
points.
uncle was a big fan of this team in the 70s and 80s. And I know that they played in the World Series, the A's.
We are tied. No,
How
we're
many
not.
times did
You
they
still
play?
have, Michael, you still have a 1-point lead. They've played Oakland twice, the Los Oclamento A's. They've played them twice. So Skraby's sitting on 3 points. Michael, you're on 4. If you get this right, you can win.
What's this team that's an AL team that's been good? It's gotta be an older team, right?
I don't know.
Potentially. The most recent trips to the World
Angels?
Series are the 3 most recent trips to the World Series have been set already.
I think you
I
said
said
some.
Angels.
Angels? Nope, unfortunately not. Skraby, you could tie, or you can tie it back up and then make it a winner takes all in the last one.
I can't even think about outside of like early 90s. I can't even think about the Reds being in the World Series basically in my lifetime. So I'm gonna have to go back in time. I'm gonna have to turn back time. I am gonna go with just an old team. Reds are the oldest team. Tigers have been around a long time.
And we're tied.
Oh, yes!
The Detroit
I
Tigers.
literally guessed.
At least Skraby's a good winner about this. Next answer wins. You guys are tied at 5 points. You guys are tied at 4 points apiece. Michael, for the final point.
Let's see. We already did Red Sox,
Yep.
Yankees, and Blue Jays are 2 new, and they were only in the 90s. Orioles.
Ooh.
Michael, you're qualified for the trip
Wow.
to Las Vegas.
Skraby.
Hang on the line.
Wow.
Hang on the line. We'll get your information during the break. But yes, the 6 different teams that the Cincinnati Reds have played in the World Series, the Yankees 3 times, Los Oclamento twice, Boston, Baltimore, Detroit, and the White Sox. Congratulations, Michael. Great game. Good job.
That was really good, Michael. I have to say that was impressive. I would have not got Orioles. I wasn't even thinking about the Orioles. Orioles aren't that new of a team, or aren't that old of a team, right?
When you think back to like the Brooks and Frank Robinson era, that's kind of where you go. So it's like late 60s, early 70s.
Interesting.
So the Reds went to the World Series. Let's go through it here.
I know in like 91 or 1990 or 1991.
1990, that was against the A's in 1990. They went back-to-back years in 76 and 75. I believe that was Yankees and Red Sox in those 2 years. Let me just make sure here. Let's see. Oh, so 76 was the Yankees. 75 was the Red Sox. Yep. Then 1970 would have been the Baltimore Orioles, and that was Baltimore losing back-to-back World Series after losing to the Mets in 69.
Oh, I just pulled up the list. Michael got their first one. And wait, isn't the 1919... Isn't that the Black Sox series?
That is, yes.
So the Reds ended up winning that series against the Black Sox.
Mm-hmm. And you know what else? You know what's interesting about that series?
What?
See what they won the series by?
Oh, yeah. 8 games.
5 games to 2.
Yeah,
No, 5 games to 3.
I do remember they had a ton of games back in the day. But, all right. Good for you, Reds. I remember when I lived in Cincinnati, all of the people, because they when I lived there, they still did this, but the Reds always played the first game of the year because they were the first team to exist. And Cincinnatians loved it. It was a huge day. People called in sick to work. It was a parade day. It was a huge day. They don't do it anymore. But yeah, the Reds have been around since like 1863 or something. That is crazy. I've always liked the Reds for some reason. I don't know why.
They're one of those teams that never really bothered you.
Yeah, because they've been bad for most of my life. The year that I lived in Cincinnati was 2010. That was the year that the Giants won the World Series. And I remember Reds fans thinking like that was the team that was going to do it. And they did. And then 2012, that was the team. And Buster Posey hit a grand slam off of Matt Latos in Game 5 of the NLDS in Cincinnati to send the Giants to another World Series.
We do have another Cincinnati Reds trivia question coming up in the next hour.
Oh,
for a chance to win those tickets to the game tomorrow night.
Okay, so we still got tickets to give away. Xander Bogey goes boom. Let me tell you, Bogey needs to go boom soon. He needs to go more boom because you know what? He's the only guy for a while that was doing anything. I get more and more texts, Frank, and I don't know if you're feeling like this, but I get more and more people telling me that Manny is washed. And I can't argue right now that it's looking great, but I don't think he's washed. He's 33. That's not normally an age where guys just fall off a cliff. But he has fallen off a cliff this year.
This is, like I said, at the end of Clayton Kershaw's career, you weren't really all that concerned about him. You knew he had that long lineage against the Padres and he was always good. But you weren't coming through the rotation like, oh, God, Kershaw's pitching this weekend, like you were earlier in his career. I didn't get that feeling this weekend as a quote unquote Met fan for the weekend. I never got that feeling of, well, here comes an easy out in Manny. I think when you start to listen to opposing fans, I think that's what you need to listen to more.
Yeah, because
as far as who is, whether or not somebody's washed or not. If you listen to opposing teams' fans and you listen to their reaction when they come up to the plate or when they get to the mound, that I think tells you the story of what the league perception is.
It's true.
Of that player. And if it's like, oh, okay, Manny Machado is coming up, then you're like, oh, God, he's washed. We're not doing good here.
Yeah.
But if it was still that same feeling this weekend of, oh, God, Manny's coming up. This ain't good. Manny's coming up with runners on. This is not good. That, I think, that to me still signals that he's still very much capable of doing some big damage. And he hasn't fallen off that cliff permanently.
That's a good observation. I mean, it is true. You need to pay attention to the other fans. The other fans will always have the proper perspective on your team. And then when you talk to them about their team, they lose all proper perspective.
Exactly.
Everybody loses perspective. But I think that's a good comment. Go pay attention to the fans that are not fans of your team and what they're saying. And they're probably telling you a little bit of the truth. I will tell you when we get back who the Padres will not be trading for. That's next on 97.3 The Fan. Final hour of Braden Surprenant show on 97.3 The Fan. I'm Matt Skraby. That's Frank Marchese. He is usually here, so you're familiar with Frank. Braden will be back tomorrow, and the guys will be doing a regular show tomorrow. We were just talking about... oh, wait. No, we're going to ask the trivia question.
No, we can't talk about that right now.
Okay. Then we will not, Frank, and I will go to the chat for a comment from Nicholas. And this is what Nicholas said. I know we suck right now, but if we get rid of Stammen and get a real manager that can lead this clubhouse, then we could stay alive. Stammen was not a great reliever, and he's not a great manager now. I can understand why people think this. I also understand, or I also think that in baseball, the manager is probably the least involved coach when it comes to like players playing. You know, the manager is going to decide what pitchers go in, who's going to pinch hit, you know, when to use the bullpen, all this stuff. But as far as like winning games, I don't think the manager is involved as much as the players are. Obviously, there's some sort of credit that goes to the manager. I really, I'm kind of like at a loss for words with this because we're only 2 months into the season, and I understand that people have a sense of urgency like you and I do, Frank, but I don't have that sense of urgency. I think that firing people sounds good to people, but I don't think people think about what happens after they fire that person.
Nicholas, who are you getting to replace him?
Yeah. That's also, if you want to replace the manager or the coaches, let us know who you would like to be in that spot. And please don't say Albert Pujols.
The vapors. Stop.
Please don't say Albert Pujols.
That's done. That ship has sailed. Albert Pujols is not the manager of the Padres. He's not going to come in as a hitting coach. He's not going to come in and take a lesser job than what he was applied for in the first place. That ship has sailed.
Frank's reached his point.
Who is going to be the manager of this team? Some of you might say Ruben Niebla. Okay, understandable. He's there. He applied for the job. He interviewed for the job. He's technically the associate manager as well. He's another guy that has no managerial experience.
And he's a coach on the staff right now. If he was having some sort of impact on winning, I think he would be doing that.
Let's take a look at the Padre coaching staff here real quick. Let's just.
Do we have to?
Let's just have fun.
Collective boo is going to go up.
Yeah, let's just have fun
around San Diego.
Craig Stammen, no managerial experience before this season.
Mm-hmm.
Ruben Niebla, no managerial experience. Randy Knorr, Steven Souza Jr., Ben Fritz, Bob Henley, David Macias, Nick Punto, Ryan Goings, Kevin Plawecki, Vinny Lopez, Mike McCoy, Pat O'Sullivan, down the line. Other than their place of employment and who's signing their checks, what do all of those players have in common? What do all those people have in common?
No coaching experience.
Hey!
So are you saying...
Who are you replacing Craig Stammen with?
I mean, if they do, it's got to be Ruben Niebla. He probably has the most experience on that staff. But it's not going to happen. They're not going to fire Craig Stammen this year. I would think it's more likely that Craig Stammen stepped down before they would fire him this year. And again, like, are we just firing people just for a reaction?
Cry bullying is what it is.
What did you say?
It's cry bullying is what it is.
Oh, I see. What happens after that?
Bud Black does have managerial experience. He's in the front office. He's not on the coaching staff.
Now that is a name. Do we know that does he want to manage?
And thank you. And yes, SD Jonesy, chatter of the day right there. Hold on. Chatter of the day, because of all of the people, all the chatters that we've seen. Sell the team, fire sale, sell the team, fire this guy, fire that guy, fire the man. You actually gave us a name.
Yeah, that's true.
Chatter of the day. You gave us a name.
I would like to tell people, if you're going to demand for the firing, please come up with a succession plan.
Oh, that's a rule on this show. If you're going to call to have someone get fired, you have to bring up a name. You have to have a name.
Bud Black, not a bad idea.
No, it's not.
What changes? Okay. Let me play devil's advocate. Bud Black also had a terrible managerial record with the Rockies. Terrible.
The Rockies were terrible.
I get it, but that's the argument. Why are you going to have a guy who couldn't win elsewhere come here to not win?
He was given AAA rosters his entire tenure there.
I'm not disagreeing with you, Frank. I'm not saying that he had the most fair situation ever. He was also, does anybody remember he was here in San Diego and he got let go as well? I'm not saying that was the right thing to do or whatever, but like, playing devil's advocate, Bud Black has some negatives to him. And does he even want to manage right now? I've seen Bud Black down there. He looks pretty comfortable riding around in that golf cart just talking.
Yeah, he's getting old. How old is he now?
It's got to be in his 60s. I would think he was in his 60s.
I would think older.
But Bud Black is someone knowledgeable. And
Bud Black's 68.
Wow. He looks good for 68.
He does.
It's one of these things too where you got to think that Bud Black is helping Craig Stammen with this stuff. Bud Black is on the roster, on the coaching staff.
He's in the front office.
He's on
an
the
advisor.
payroll. He's on the payroll so he can advise Craig Stammen on how to manage. Like, these are the reasons they bring those guys in. Another thing, old school managers are starting to leave the game. Craig Stammen, Craig Albernaz, the guy who coaches the Orioles.
Hey, Birdland.
The guy who coaches the Orioles, is that who? Right.
Yeah, that was him.
Who's the Washington Nationals manager?
Oh, God.
I can't remember his name. It doesn't matter. All teams now are hiring different types of coaches. I always look at the trends around sports when I'm looking at something. And the trend right now is to hire an analytical guidance counselor, I guess.
Blake Butera.
Butera. That's it. Blake Butera. But like, this is the trend is to not go back to the Bud Blacks. The trend is to not go back to the Bruce Bochy's. The trend is to go forward because everything grows and everything becomes something different from when they started. So when Bruce Bochy started managing, much different job than it is today.
I don't think, and IBJ Huff in the chat just said, it can't help but feel Bud Black was brought in as an alternate in case the Stammen experiment failed, much like Schilt during Melvin's tenure.
All right, that's an interesting thought.
Bob Melvin, the Padres traded for Bob Melvin.
I think they did.
Yeah, they didn't sign him. So you're not going to trade for a manager and then hire someone who had a messy exit in St. Louis, who said he was done managing, as a backup. What happened there, I think, was it got so bad with Bob Melvin here, and Schilt was there. I mean, there were talks, I believe, if I remember right, it was Joe Girardi was one of the names that we were talking about replacing Bob Melvin.
Oh, yeah.
And Schilt was there. Schilt just happened to be there. So they just promoted from within, which, that's one of the ways you could do it for sure. So
he was a qualified candidate.
Oh, he absolutely was. Right. But I don't think you're not going to bring in a backup plan for a guy you actually traded to get. They traded to get Melvin. So they wanted him. They thought he was going to be the guy to do it. And Schilt was just a part of the coaching staff. I could maybe see a world in which Bud Black is here in case Stammen failed. I don't think he's failed.
I don't either.
I don't think Craig Stammen has done anything remotely close to getting himself fired. He hasn't. His bullpen management's been fine.
Yeah.
The lineup, the moving and shaking of the lineup has been fine. That has all been good. It's the players who just for years on end now insist on underperforming. That is what's been the problem. That there's not much Craig Stammen could do about that. They all like him because most of them played with him. He knows San Diego well.
That's a negative in some people's minds.
And I can see why it can be. Sometimes you need a manager and not a friend in the managerial role.
Yep.
You need that. I agree with that sentiment. I don't see any world where Stammen deserves to get fired. And that's also partly why I'm so against getting rid of Steven Souza Jr., because typically when you start firing the manager's coaching staff, that usually means the manager's on the hot is on the hot seat. I don't see Stammen being on the hot seat, so therefore his coaching staff really shouldn't be on the hot seat. And if you look at this Padre offense over the last couple of years, this has been the trend. They've accelerated the trend this year for sure, but they have not been good offensively.
No, they have not. I Need Money says Scott Service, also a part of the front
Scott
office.
Service is also
former Mariners manager.
Mhm.
So they have people. I don't necessarily think they're going to replace Craig Stammen with these guys, but they do have they've put together some sort of infrastructure to help Craig Stammen with some of these decisions. And I do like that Craig Stammen has been pretty open about how the job is much different than he would have thought it was going to be. He said a couple weeks ago, he said, I used to disagree with some of the decisions the manager made and think I knew everything. Now I'm the guy who people are disagreeing with because they think I know everything. I think he hit it right there. He doesn't deserve to get fired. Imagine every manager that would get fired in their first season if they've lost 11 of 13 games. Like it, in a way, this is baseball. This does happen. I don't think there's any benefit into firing him this year. Now, after the season, I have no issues if you want to move on from Craig Stammen, if you want to get the right guy in there. But I think we owe it to Craig Stammen, we owe it to the team to at least see it out a little bit. And again, I'm not sure if people know this. Manager does not play in the games. He might wear the uniform, but he actually doesn't play in the games. And you're right. He's made some pretty good decisions this year. There have been a couple weird things, but that's to be expected. But his bullpen management has been pretty good for the most part.
Oh, it has been. I mean, it's been interesting watching him keep guys in for 2 innings. That's been unique, something we haven't really seen. Giving guys
say that
a
one more
chance,
time.
letting relievers stay in for 2 innings.
Yes.
That's certainly been something that we haven't always seen here. And again, because he's a pitcher, knowing the importance of giving a guy the opportunity to get out of it, I think that's also been huge for him. I don't think he's really misstepped with the bullpen. And like you said, him criticizing managerial decision, it's like being a kid.
It is.
Once you become a parent, you understand why your parents did what they did.
It's very true. I used to tell my parents all, "You don't know anything. I know it." And then I realized they knew everything that they were saying.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
It's very. If there's any young people in the car right now and people tell you, "Hey, just listen to the older people." Do it. Listen to the older people. Things would have been so much easier for me if I would have listened to people that knew what was going to happen.
Now to those same kids, when he says listen to the older people, we mean like your parents, your grandparents.
Yeah. Yes.
Don't listen to the older person that's standing out there on the streets screaming at nothing. Don't listen to that guy.
Listen to an older person that you know is a normal person.
Yes.
And has your best interest at heart.
Exactly.
Augie says, Skraby telling kids to get off his lawn? No, not at all. I'm telling kids to embrace the...
Yeah, no, he's telling kids to sit under the learning tree is what he's doing.
Thank you, Frank. I really wish I would have listened to some of these people that gave me advice back in the day, because my life would have been much easier. What?
What?
What did you say?
Kids, don't listen to Chris Ello.
True. True. And the reason I can say that is because he is not at work yet. So I know that he's not listening at this perfect moment in time. Okay. You know what? We've had a couple questions about ownership today. So when we get back here, Braden Surprenant Show, Frank Marchese, Matt Skraby, let's throw around what we think ownership is going to do when they officially finally take over this team, and that's next on 97.3 The Fan.
Before we go to break.
You know what stinks, Frank, is that I get mad at Chris all the time. Before we go to break, you have a chance to win a pair of tickets to tomorrow's Padres game against the Reds. The first 40,000 fans will receive a free Xander Bogaerts bobblehead. Tickets at padres.com/tickets. tickets. I'm going to let Frank ask the question because he came up with it.
Yes. So again, the Xander Bogaerts bobblehead giveaway presented by Palomar Specialty Insurance is coming tomorrow. Well,
he just highlighted the actual read.
because I'm reading it. It's coming tomorrow night at 6:40 p.m. when the Padres take on the Cincinnati Reds. First 40,000 fans in attendance will receive a Bogey Goes Boom bobblehead presented by Palomar Specialty Insurance. Repping the Padres military Sunday uniforms, Xander Bogaerts is featured with his signature home run swing. For more information, visit padres.com/giveaways. The trivia question for today, in order to win this pair of tickets to see the Padres take on Cincinnati Reds tomorrow, who was the first Cincinnati Red to hit a home run at Petco Park? It was a grand slam. Who was the first Cincinnati Red to hit a home run at Petco Park?
I don't know why
That
I
is
keep
your
thinking
question
Petco
for
Pork.
today.
Like Ben said that one time. That's interesting. All right. Well, call in right now, 833-288-0973. If you get that question right, you'll get these tickets. And we'll talk about the Padres' new ownership on the other side, 97.3 The Fan. All right, Anthony won the tickets to tomorrow night's game. Congratulations, Anthony. He knew the answer, which was, Frank?
Adam Dunn was the first Cincinnati Red to hit a home run at Petco Park. It was a grand slam off of Woody Williams in a game that the Reds would win 7-1 on July 31st, 2005.
It does make sense that Adam Dunn would be the guy because he either hit a home run or struck out, basically, is what he did for a very long time. Matt Skraby, Frank Marchese, filling in for Braden Surprenant here on 97.3 The Fan. I did say, I can't remember when I teased this. Actually, I think it was the segment before, and I hate when I do this. I really do. But I said, I'm going to tell you who the Padres are not going to trade for on the other side, and then we never got to it on the other side. So we will talk about the ownership right after we get through who the Padres are not going to trade for. And with everything that's happened with the team, they are not going to be in the Tarek Skubal sweepstakes. Is this official? No, it's not official. But I just cannot see the Padres going after Tarek Skubal right now when they have so many other places in their lineup that they need help with. They don't just need help in one place. They need help in multiple different places. But Tarek Skubal over the weekend completed a minor league start, looked really, really, really good, struck out 6, went 5 innings. And the reason this is so incredible is because he had a surgery to remove those loose bodies from his elbow, which usually takes about 2 to 3 months for you to be able to come back from. But Adam and I have been talking about this a lot. This nanotechnology that is being used now. I guess it was a small needle and they got the loose bodies out. It was less invasive. And so he was able to get back to throwing as fast as possible. But I don't need, or I don't know about you, Frank, but if you're a team that is going to be paying a very high price for a rental of Tarek Skubal, I don't know that it's as easy as just saying let's do it because of this injury. He looks good now, but what's going to happen in 3 months? Is the soreness going to show up again? This is kind of an experimental thing, so it's not like there's any real knowledge about how he's going to hold up after this surgery. But if I'm a team, I'm thinking, how much does that discount me? Are you a team? If you're a team, Frank, are you looking at this and is it taking him off your table? Is it discounting, or do you not care at all?
It's nice that he's going to get more. It's nice he's going to get a little bit more time before the trade deadline to see what he's capable of.
Yeah.
For me personally, I'm a guy who, if you wanted Tarek Skubal, he's 30 years old now. I would want him in a trade and sign, or a sign and trade. I would want, the only way I would trade the haul that it is going to take to get him, I would only trade him if I had a written guarantee that he was going to sign an extension to stay.
Okay.
That's the only way I would do it. And I don't think that's in the best interest of the Padres. One, to blow the farm on Tarek Skubal, and 2, to sign him to a long-term extension.
Yeah, if I'm a team, I want that security long-term, but I don't know. When was the last time we saw sign and trade? That would be...
It's more of a basketball thing.
It is.
I would have...
But I understand it.
Yeah.
Because you want you want the guarantee that he's going to be with your team for much longer than just a rental.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're going to be trading a Juan Soto level of prospects to the Tigers, yeah, I don't know. I think that the Padres, after the Laureano thing, after just seeing how they're hitting right now, I think pitching they can get by with. It's the hitting that they need help with. And so I don't think it's the right move for the Padres to go after a guy like Tarek Skubal. AJ is always going to make a move that we don't expect and we don't see coming. And I have a feeling that's what's going to happen this trade deadline. But I have to think that they need to get started a little bit sooner rather than later. Usually some of these trades for the Padres come in either the week of or the day of the trade deadline. I don't think you can wait that long. Again, you got for the foreseeable future, you have Jace Bowen, you have Bryce Johnson in the outfield, and that's not going to get it done. It's not. Samad Taylor, I don't think he's going to get it done either. None of these guys are guys that are going to be able to carry the weight that Ramon Laureano was carrying. And if you don't know, or you're just, kind of catching up on things, he's out for most likely the season. They're not saying the season yet because he has a chance to come back if they go deep in the playoffs. But I'm just going to assume that he's out for the year with a hip surgery. There's just no way I could see a path forward for this team without trying to fix the outfield position, because they only have, and I'm already kind of counting Fernando out of right field. Isn't that kind of weird? Like, he's been playing so much second this season that I kind of forgot about him in right field. So yeah, they could put him in right field, but that means that you're going to have to put Sungwoon Song in the lineup. And that means that you're going to have another guy who's hitting under 200 in the lineup. So I don't really see any way out of this for the Padres other than to go out and to figure out a way to get a bat in this lineup. Miguel Andujar, he came out of the game yesterday with a hamstring injury that he's had for most of the year. I also know that he has dealt with injury in his career, so that's not the best thing, and he wasn't really hitting right now anyway, but he's just another bat that they had in the lineup, and you take away that bat, you got less bats, and things get scary, Frank. And to say this too, we talked to Sam Dykstra of MILB.com last week, and he said that the Padres system is not as bare as everybody thinks it is.
No.
And by the way, the new bat that's coming up is not Ethan Sauce either. It's not going to be that.
Couldn't, and it shouldn't be, honestly.
It shouldn't be. I understand why people want Ethan Sauce to come up and to debut and all that stuff, but everybody we talked to said that he's just not ready. So I'm going to go with everybody who knows what they're talking about and think that he's just not ready. Mime Jr. says if we take an expensive contract, we could also get Buxton. I guess this kind of goes into the conversation about the new ownership as well, because new ownership has to sign off on some of these things. And I've seen it all out there, Frank. I have seen all the opinions on the ownership. They're not going to put money into this. They're going to move the team. They're going to do this. They're going to do that. I don't know you buy something for $3.9 billion if you don't think it's going to be a moneymaker for you. That's the ultimate reason that they're buying the team. And I do believe that they wanted to give back to the community, and they've shown that they're willing to start doing stuff like that. But they also have to sign off on this stuff. And do they want to bring in a guy like Byron Buxton, who is a great player, hurt a lot? Do they want to bring in someone like that and pay yet another aging contract? I don't know what their thoughts on this is going to be. I do know that they bought this team knowing that they had all of these contracts underway. So it's not like they're getting it's not like they're buying the team and then someone's like, hey, by the way, you owe Manny, Xander, and them for the next 20 years, like $700 million. That they already knew that. So it tells me that they bought the team for $3.9 billion because they see potential in this team. And I would think that they're going to put money into it. And maybe Frank could expand on this a little bit, but I know that the whole thing with Chelsea soccer team,
Mm-hmm.
like the guy who bought this team, Feliciano, he was not in charge of the soccer team in a way that he will be here.
No,
from
he
what I
was.
understand.
Feliciano was the money. He wasn't the decision maker. The guy who owns the Dodgers actually was more the decision maker with Chelsea. So, yeah, exactly. So, but that was one thing that we noticed when Feliciano took over, is that he did show a willingness to buy out some of those bad contracts. And soccer contracts are very different from baseball contracts. So I wouldn't go too crazy. Like, yay, they're going to buy out Manny. That's not going to happen. He's owed way too much money over the next handful of years. As far as the moving the team goes, I don't know how many more times we need to debunk the ownership moving the team. It's never going to happen. It is not going to happen at all.
Baseball wants a team in San Diego, number one.
Especially with the way this team, the fan base turns out for this team and the money that this team is bringing in.
Yeah.
Baseball won't let them move. Baseball will not let it move. The ownership, the way I would, so let's just go back to the trade talk for a minute. What to trade, especially for an outfielder. If I am looking for a trade right now, I'm looking for a Walker Jenkins type, a Charlie Condon type. Who's the kid in Arizona? Waldschmidt, I think his name is.
Waldschmidt,
Kevin Waldschmidt, something like that. One of the Arizona's one of their top prospect outfielders that just came up. That's the type of guy I'm looking for. I'm not looking for a Byron Buxton. I'm looking for a top prospect who is major league ready. Walker Jenkins has major league experience. Waldschmidt is with Arizona right now. Those are the kind of guys I'm looking for. I'm not looking for a Josue De Paula who's still sitting in Double-A. I'm not looking for what's the other guy's name for the Dodgers? The other top outfield prospect. Hold on, I'll get his name here in a second.
I wish I could play the Jeopardy music.
Yeah, I know. I got it. I'm not looking for Zaire Hope, who's also in Double-A. I'm looking for a Braden Montgomery, a guy who is in Triple-A, who's Ryan Waldschmidt is the kid's name. I'm looking for an outfielder who is ready to go, just doesn't have a spot. That is what I'm looking for in a trade right now. And with that, it gives you a lot of control as well. Those are the kind of guys I'm looking for to trade right now. Emmanuel Rodriguez is a AAA outfielder for Minnesota. His expected debut is supposed to be this year. He's 23 years old, lefty bat, 210, playing with the AAA St. Paul Saints right now, hitting 245, 6 home runs, 18 RBIs. Not great, but he's had seasons where he's hit 16 home runs down in the minor leagues. That's more of a guy I'm looking for right now, a guy who I can control for a long period of time in the corner outfield position. That's what I would be looking at.
I don't mind that at all. All I know is that they need to do something soon because things are in dire straits right now. Now, Adam and I were talking in the hallway. What's to say, Frank, that they don't win 15 of their next 20?
No, exactly. And that goes back to what Sam said during post-game yesterday. All Freddy Fermín needed to seemingly turn his season around was one successful sacrifice bunt. That's all he needed.
Yeah, because his first one was not great.
And it hits two two-run home runs, something he hadn't done all season long. Hit one, let alone two, and get an RBI double. Breaking 0 for 30. It could change in a heartbeat. Exactly. And I saw someone said the kid from St. Louis, Joshua Baez is looking really good right now in St. Louis. He's an outfield prospect. He's hitting 276, 17 dingers, 45 RBIs.
Bring him in.
20 home runs and 79 RBIs through Double-A and Triple-A last year.
I'll trade a bunch of Lucky's Chew toys to the Cardinals for him.
Okay.
All right. That is good. Aaron says solid research there. No, that was good, Frank. Because I sat down last night to kind of check and see what names I could throw out there, but I didn't really have any names because I have no idea what direction they're going. But I do like the type of player that you are thinking that they're going to bring in.
Luis Lara is the number 91 prospect in baseball for Milwaukee. Is projected to make his debut this year.
So if you do get someone back, I mean, well, depends on who you trade, but they're going to have, a guy who's going to contribute this year is what I need. I cannot have someone who is not going to contribute at all.
No, a guy like Max Clark is going to cost you too much. He's the number 7 prospect in baseball. He's the number 1 outfield prospect. Walker Jenkins is going to cost too much. Those are guys that I would love to have, but are going to cost too much. But if you look down, if you look down towards the bottom of that list, like I was saying, Ike Irish for the Baltimore, he's single A. Luis Lara, Baez, those are guys that you could probably swing a deal for.
Probably could.
Ralphie Velasquez.
Oh man, if they make a deal for Ralphie Velasquez, the World Series is happening. Let's
not go too far.
Clay says Lucky would not be too happy with Skraby if he traded any of his toys. Yeah, Clay must have not heard what Lucky did earlier. All right.
What Lucky didn't do.
What he did earlier. When we get back, final segment of the Braden Surprenant Show, Matt Skraby, Frank Marchese. We'll preview the next 3 games against the Reds on 97.3 The Fan. This is from Clay in the chat. I think Skraby is negligent in his attention to Lucky, my dog. Lucky cannot be found liable for the potting soil. He can claim he didn't know. Ignorance can be his defense. Why is everybody giving Lucky a free pass on this?
Because have you seen that dog?
He's very cute.
Well, there you go.
He's very cute, but he also causes problems sometimes.
No.
And if you missed it, I was trying to leave to get here on time, but I was late here because Lucky ripped open a potting soil bag and was throwing it in the air, like in celebration.
You don't know what the bag was doing before you saw it.
I saw the bag. The bag was doing what it did for like the last week, which was just sit there.
Oh, no. Well, obviously not if Lucky knew it was there and just decided to go after it.
Problems are manifested by the owner, not the puppy. Skraby, train him better. Now like it's weird because I'm saying that it's my dog's Lucky's fault, and then you're saying train him better, but I'm like, my boy is trained well. You cannot say that.
Yeah, because you're defending yourself now is what you're doing.
Liz said, who left the potting soil there? I did.
On the dog.
I did. But I looked at him and I said, you don't do anything to this potting soil. And he said, okay.
Do I need to find a more expensive dog toy brand?
No.
You sure? Because I mean, this slander's getting a little like Lucky's texting me right now. We're getting to another level here.
Let's move to golf.
There you go. That's
US Open is happening next weekend.
That's cool.
That's cool. I'm bringing it up because they always talk about Torrey Pines being a course that's like they don't really want to use it as a PGA Tour event and a US Open course. Well, I know Shinnecock Hills is not a PGA Tour course, but they're playing the US Open at Shinnecock for the second time in 8 years. So, and get past the name, Frank. Get past the name. But Shinnecock is a very nice golf course.
I've got to click the button just because I'm not sure.
Phrasing?
No, it's called Shinnecock Hills, which is a golf course.
You keep saying it.
Brooks Koepka won last time, and so we'll see if he wins this time. But I'm complaining because apparently Torrey Pines is only good enough for a U.S. Open once every 20 years or something like that.
You just got a brand new a name for the tournament now.
Yeah, the Century.
Yep, the Century.
2008 was the first Torrey Pines, and then 2021 was the last one. And there's nothing on the books going forward.
I just saw it in chat. David Vu in the chat saying, Frank, are we going to talk more NASCAR as we get close to the race? That is coming up next weekend.
Oh, same time as the US Open.
I am very excited.
I was going to say what?
Very, very excited. And we do have some things in the works for next week.
What?
None of which are confirmed. But we do have things in the works for next week.
Sorry, Rod said hashtag pot lives matter.
Yeah, I saw that.
Like potting soil.
Yeah.
You guys are going to have stuff next week.
Yes, we will.
What is it?
Guests.
Oh.
Yes. We have a couple of guests that we're working on trying to get. We are currently in NASCAR teams.
Wait.
I have found through this whole thing, NASCAR teams are very, very difficult to get in touch with their PR departments.
You think?
It's not like other leagues where their team's PR department's on the website.
Oh yeah. The team, they bury it.
NASCAR teams are hidden away.
They don't want you to call.
They are hidden away on their team's websites. I found a couple, and we are in the works. Nothing is confirmed, so I'm not going to get anyone's excited.
Dale Earnhardt Jr.?
Yet. It's in the works. I can't.
Oh, that means it is.
I can't divulge any information.
KG says, I heard it is the hardest course. I was just about to ask you, do we know how long it is?
I you know what? I have a ton of history. For those of you who know, who've listened to the show, I have a ton of history on iRacing, the racing simulator.
Yes.
Tomorrow is their big season update. So they're getting a bunch of updates. They're dropping a bunch of new content.
And that will be it.
The NASCAR course on Coronado is going to be one of the new things that iRacing drops for this season.
See, that's awesome.
Which means at some point this week, I will jump on the sim and I will give you guys all a track tour of Coronado and what to expect. So that will be a lot of fun this week coming in.
The track is 3.4 miles?
Yes.
That is long.
And the section, if there's one section between turns 5 and 6 that I saw one of the NASCAR writers, again.
Oh, carrier corner?
I think so, yeah.
It's turn 5.
It is on the water.
It is. And it's between two aircraft carriers.
It's track, wall, San Diego Bay. That's what it is.
Are they not worried?
Oh, no, those walls will be fine. For those of you who want to follow and know about this stuff and know what's coming up, Jeff Gluck is a great account to follow. He's a motorsports writer for The Athletic. Also, Bob Pockrass. Those are like the two big names to follow if you want to see like insider stuff and see what's going on. Also, Jordan Bianchi is another good one to follow. He's also a motorsports writer for The Athletic.
All right. I'm looking at some other things from the track. Runaway Road is turn 14, apparently, according to NASCAR.com. A fast stretch situated right next to Runway 1836 at Halsey Field. So that would be kind of cool. I know they've done it at an airport. I remember kart racing. They did it like the Cleveland airport.
The Coronado. Oh, yes.
Yeah, I remember kart back in the day.
And every year, IndyCar starts their season at St. Petersburg, which is on their run.
Kart and IndyCar kind of came together, right?
They were the same thing. They split up, and then IndyCar just had more money than kart and bought them out.
I actually watched the Monaco thing over the weekend.
I'm sorry.
Why?
It's usually a boring race. This year's race apparently was hectic and chaotic.
Apple TV does a really good job of making it easy to find all that stuff. Because when I log in, qualifying's right there, practice is right there, and Monaco's cool because it's race.
It's their crown jewel race that F1 screwed up.
All right, we got 4 minutes left. Let's preview this.
No, we don't. We got like 2 minutes left.
2 minutes. Okay, let's preview what's going to happen here the next 3 days between the Padres and the Reds. The Reds are going to be throwing Andrew Abbott tonight, lefty, who has a very great history against the Padres, which is not great. He's 4-3 with a 4.06 ERA. Walker Buehler might be the Padres' best pitcher right now. He's 3-3 with a 4.53 ERA. I feel good about Walker Buehler. I do not feel good about Andrew Abbott shutting down the Padres tonight. I mean, it's just the offensive side is hard to watch right now. Tomorrow, it's Chase Burns, which Frank brought up earlier. He's 7-1 with a 2.05 ERA. He throws fire. Lucas Giolito, he's been pretty good for the Padres. I think he's starting to get into that point where we're seeing what season mode looks like for him instead of spring training mode. And then on Wednesday at 1:10 p.m., they have Brady Singer versus Michael King. Michael King's 4-5 on the year. He's been very... he's been average. I think at times he's been really good, and at times
Jekyll and Hyde.
Jekyll and Hyde's a great way to put it. At times he's been really good, and at times he has not been good. And when he gave up some of those home runs on Friday, the look on his face was like perplexed. Like, what is happening? Why am I throwing these pitches that are getting hit over the wall? Michael King, I'm not worried about, but he has been giving up some runs like late in his starts, which is a problem.
And he's been going out there and throwing triple digits more nights than not. He's
triple digits as in pitches,
pitch count. Yeah. So he has been throwing a lot for a guy who didn't throw a lot last year.
It's true.
So that is definitely very, very interesting to me. Is just maybe he's not feeling something. Now, usually we end the show. We're about a minute out from ending the show. Usually we end the show with a bold prediction.
Oh, okay.
For tonight's game. Okay. So what is your bold prediction for tonight's game?
My bold prediction for tonight's game, I am going to say Padres hit 3 home runs.
Wow.
Yeah.
That would be
That would be bold.
Yeah, that would be a pretty bold prediction.
And it doesn't have to be the same person. Just 3 home runs from the Padres lineup tonight.
Let's say Jackson gets 3 hits tonight.
Oh, okay.
3 hits for Jackson.
Clay says 7-5 Padres. Fermín gets 2 hits according to Mime.
That's 1.
Chris said, dang, that's bold. Yes. You said bold prediction. And it's like something that sounds really crazy, but it's not.
No.
So, all right, that's it for the Braden Surprenant Show. I'm Matt Skraby. That's Frank Marchese. Thanks for tuning in today. Braden back tomorrow. Gwen and Chris up next. Enjoy your afternoon, everyone.
Free Lucky.
Padres Reds today.
Number 350 for Manny Machado.